And we are live. Hey guys, I'm Wolfie, and the San Francisco 49ers have traded Jordan Mason, the stud running back that we had last year when CMC got hurt. He filled in really well. Wasn't really used though, however, in our offense when CMC came back. Look, man, look. I know CMC is a great player, right? He's got high potential. But I'm glad. I love this move. We traded, let me clarify something. We traded Jordan Mason for a 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick next year, while the Vikings got Jordan Mason and a 6th-round pick this year. So we technically traded up 27 spots and got a 6th-round pick next year for Jordan Mason. That's really what it is. I personally love this trade. A lot of people are freaking out, upset about it, but I love it. I mean, he's just a depth running back, and at the end of the day, people are like, oh, he's just a top 10 back. You know, he's got all this potential, but he doesn't get used, right? For Jordan Mason's sake, he needs to go somewhere that he could start. This was the conversation we had at the end of the season. This was a conversation that we all knew was going to happen. We knew that Jordan Mason was going to be traded, most likely. We already knew that. It's like, but people are acting as if like this just came out of the blue. This was something that was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. And the reason why I love this trade is because the San Francisco 49ers drafted Jordan Mason. The San Francisco 49ers drafted Matt Breida or whatever, the other way around. All I know is this team goes through running backs all the time that are good, that are useful, that work out all the time, especially in the late rounds or undrafted. You get a 5th-round pick. The 160th pick is a lot better than 187th. I'm telling you right now. That is a significantly better pick. Then the 49ers now have 2 5ths, 2 4ths, 2 3rds, a 2nd, and a 1st. I love this pick because we can now go out, get a younger guy on a cheaper contract, and I trust this regime to find a running back to replace Jordan Mason. Maybe not the same production, but good enough. You have Isaac Guerendo. You have CMC. This guy who, if you love Jordan Mason and you respect him enough to let him go somewhere where he can start, because he's not starting for the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, that's just not happening. Isaac Guerendo comes in. He's fantastic. He looks amazing. CMC, going to come back. Supposed to still play great. In the end, it's great. We get a 5th-round pick for a running back in a running back stack draft. A lot of people are saying this sucks. I think this is great. A depth piece where we can use that 5th-round pick to trade up and probably get a guy who's a starter in way much more important situations, way much more important spots on this roster. Like we got Isaiah Abanikanda that I like, that I want to see what he can do. You got Patrick Taylor back. I'm not a fan of Patrick Taylor, by the way, but I know a lot of people are themselves. But Jordan Mason needed to go somewhere where he could start. Now this opens up the door where the 49ers can now get a running back on a cheaper contract in the 5th round. 5th all the way up to undrafted, maybe, potentially. I know this team. We know this team takes running back seriously. I'm telling you right now, if they didn't feel like they can get a guy in this draft, wherever they get him in the 5th, 6th, 7th round undrafted, they would not have traded Jordan Mason. They would not have done it. Regardless of the cuts they're making, that's one thing they wouldn't do. In this draft, where it's a deep running back class, we did a mock draft earlier today. There was running backs galore available. And the only reason why I didn't take Ollie Gordon or I didn't take another running back in that late 4th or in that 5th round was because we had Jordan Mason. There are Donovan Edwards from Michigan, who I got with the last pick in the 7th round, is good. I like him. There's running backs. This is the perfect time to move on from Jordan Mason, who cost us millions of dollars, to get a running back in a deep running back class. It's not always about just having to keep players that you like and that you love. Okay? Sometimes you have to make the tough decisions and the logical decisions. And the logical decision was to move on from Jordan Mason. 25 years old, had some injury-prone issues, not the greatest blocker. There's reasons to move on from that guy. I liked him, but he needs to go somewhere where he can start, where he can have a fresh start, starting somewhere new, while we can move on and get a third or maybe potentially second running back in the depth. I know a lot of people don't like it just because they were fans of Jordan Mason and what he did for us last year. But I'm sorry, Guerendo could do that. Guerendo showed that he could do that, if not better, in the passing game. Guerendo fits this offense significantly better than Jordan Mason. I believe that Guerendo would be the second running back and Mason would be the third. So people are upset that we're going to keep a guy who you believe is a starter as our third running back, where you're just going to complain all season about how he doesn't get touches. That's what you're going to do. So it's better to move on from this guy, let him go start somewhere else. Let us draft a guy who is cheaper and with fresher legs and potentially maybe not be as injury prone in a deep running back class. I love this move. You get a 5th round pick, which is way better than a 6th. You have the 160th pick is significantly better than the 187th. I'm telling you that right now. Because between the 187th to the 160th, it is thin. It is thin at that point of your choices and your options of who to pick. It's a crazier crapshoot. But the closer you get, the higher you get, the better chance you get a better player. And this 49ers team has been known to constantly get gems through the 4th and the 5th rounds. And guess what? You got yourself a 5th round draft pick to replace Jordan Mason. Heck, they might not even use that 5th round pick to get Jordan Mason. They might do what they've always been doing, which is finding gems in the 6th, 7th round or undrafted that replace players. Like, I don't understand. I understand if we don't even draft a guy in the 3rd round, I wouldn't want that to happen. But what I don't understand is like people are freaking out as if like we, out of all the positions that we draft, people are acting as if we don't do really good with running backs in the later rounds. People are acting as if we don't do well in that spot. This team knows how to evaluate running backs. I'd much rather have a cheaper one who's fresher legs, and it's going to be the 3rd running back on this team, most likely. You still have Isaiah Bonikondo, who I like a lot. I want to see what he can do. Patrick Taylor, I'm not the biggest fan, but I know some people think he was serviceable. So I don't understand I understand that people love the name Jordan Mason. But from a logical standpoint, you save yourself millions of dollars and you get a better back who fits the system. I like this. I honestly, if people, I can't remember who said this, but I said that we could possibly get a 4th round pick for Jordan Mason. That'd be asking for a lot. No, we got a 5th rounder. And some people are like, oh, you just moved up 27 spots. I'm sorry, a 6th round pick is nothing. To move up 27 spots, you give up a 6th round pick. I don't care. That's really good. I like that. I'm not going to freak out over a 6th round pick, but I'm going to be a little bit happy the fact that we pretty much, in my eyes, got a running back for a 5th rounder. So I'll get to these comments right now. We got a bunch of comments in here. I'll get to those right now. But that's just how I feel about it. I love this trade. You're moving off a depth piece. I've said it a billion times, so I'll let you guys speak now. I'll jump into the comments, see what you guys have to say. But just real quick, from a logical standpoint, I just feel like this is a great move. So, all right. Everyone is freaking out, says Juan. Good to see it. Juan in the house. Papa J in the house. Good to see it. Good to see it. Welcome, Wolfpack. Welcome, Wolfpack. Everyone freaking out, but I'm disappointed with the low trade compensation. I want a high 4th rounder. You got a mid 5th rounder. It's not bad. You got a mid 5th rounder. It's a little beyond. Just a little beyond your expectations there. I like the 5th round pick for him. I think that's good. And then getting rid of a nonsense 6th round pick just for him to move up in the draft. I like it. Like it's not. I like it a lot. I don't love it, but I definitely don't dislike it. I think a lot of people are going to feel that way. I think a lot of people in the heat of the moment are going to be like, oh my God, Jordan Mason's gone. But it's like, this is something you knew was going to happen. This is something that we all knew was going to happen, right? You weren't going to get a 2nd round pick for Jordan Mason. No one was going to accept that tender. That wasn't going to happen. The most you're going to get is a late 4th to a 5th round draft pick for the guy. And that's what you got. You got a mid 5th round pick for the guy. Well, not mid. I like it. Be sure to like the live if you haven't liked the live already. I really appreciate it. I mean, sorry, but we got a lot more needs than your 3rd running back. we got a lot more needs. We got D-line to worry about. We got DN, D-tackle, guard, center. That's way more important. And the closer you get in the draft, the more you have an ammunition to trade up in the draft to address those needs, to get players who have actually high potential to fill in those needs. A third running, because that's what Jordan Mason was going to be. He was going to be he's going to be third on the depth chart running back, whether you like it or not. So I think we should get fresher legs and embrace what we knew was going to happen. Like the live, if you haven't liked the live already, of course. But I understand why people don't love it. Like, I'm not trying to criticize people saying, how dare you not love this trade? Totally understand why, because Jordan Mason was a gem. We liked it. We liked his story. We liked what he did for us last year and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, he was just going to be a third running back on this depth chart. And this team is known to get running backs in the draft. This is the perfect opportunity in a deep running back draft class. This was smart. Get closer, more ammunition to fill bigger holes and bigger needs. I understand why people don't love it, though, because he was a favorite. People loved him, especially for what he did. And not to mention his interview that he had, the interviews he had after games. Phenomenal, man. Like he was kind-hearted. He loved he seems so innocent in his interviews and stuff, but like this is a business and a business decision. I think this is perfect. I think this is perfect. And be happy for Jordan Mason, by the way. Be happy for him, because guess what? He's not stuck behind a line where he doesn't get to start. Now Jordan Mason gets an opportunity to start with the Vikings behind Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones doesn't always stay healthy. I'm happy for Jordan Mason. He gets somewhere where he gets more of an opportunity, more of a chance than he would with the San Francisco 49ers. So be happy for the guy, man. Be happy for him. How everyone night's going, Vikings have two good running backs. Now they do. They do have two good running backs. Jordan Mason was a free agent we pick up after the draft. I don't hate. Like, it sounds like I'm hating on Jordan Mason, but I'm not. I think that Jordan Mason is a good running back, but I'm not trying to go back and forth with him of how he's good and stuff, but he was injury prone. He had injury situations, so there's things you can look at where you're like, okay, that was unreliable, right? He fumbled a couple of times. He had some fumble issues. That was a thing too. He wasn't great in the red zone. When we needed him to be good in the red zone, he wasn't great in that. I'm not the biggest. I like him. He's got high potential, high upside. But I feel like we can move on from him and be just fine. I don't think it's going to make or break us just because we traded Jordan Mason. I like this trade low key for us as Jeff. Hey, it's good to hear. Good to hear, man. I appreciate that. That's finally somebody like I know. I feel like I actually came into this live thinking everyone was going to attack me, being like, "How dare you insult Jordan Mason?" So, I actually like this trade a lot. When I first heard about it, I was thinking to myself, my God, that's a great trade. And then I saw everyone freaking out, and I was like, really? Like, you didn't see this coming? Like, I don't know. Maybe the second round tender is what got people excited about it, and we're like, okay, there's no way someone's gonna pay the second rounder. But I was like, you can still trade the guy on the tender. So, and by the way, Jordan Mason got $7 million guaranteed. I think he can earn up to $12 million. So congratulations to him. He's making roughly like $2 million less technically than Derrick Henry. Shout out to Jordan Mason, man. Congrats. I hope everybody involved benefited out of this. Exactly. We're definitely drafting Cam Scatterbo. I'm calling it now. I would love that. I almost think we should do another mock draft right now because it kind of changes the game. Because I would draft Scatterbo in the 4th. Almost. I would not use I don't think I would use the 100th pick, but if he was there with the 113th pick, I would probably draft Scatterbo. Scatterbo is not fast, right? But he would be excellent on short downs. He'd be excellent on short passing downs, goal line situations. He does have some fumble issues, but he's actually a really good back all around. He's an absolute stud. I would love to have him. Steve-O in the house. Good to see you. He's not starting for the Vikes also. My dad likes running back from Rutgers. I have no idea who that is. I'm not gonna lie to you. We got to get a running back in the 4th round now, or if you want a blue chip guy, Omarion Hampton in the 2nd. No. I'm Omarion Hampton's biggest hater. I'm Shamar Stewart's biggest hater, and I'm Omarion Hampton's biggest hater. I'm not impressed with Omarion Hampton. I'm really honestly not. Let me fix my collar. Sorry about the lighting, guys. When it gets dark, my lighting makes it seem like I'm in a trap house. I don't know why. Like this lighting, there's light here, there's a light over there. I turn them all, and it looks like I'm stuck in a trap house. It looks terrible, so I apologize for that, guys. I think we should get a guy in the 4th round up, running back wise. I think we do that. I'm not a fan of drafting a guy in the 2nd round. I think that'd be too crazy. At that point, you might as well just pay Jordan Mason, I think, if you're going to do that. I think that's what we're setting up for. Also, Mason's not receiving back, and he had some ball security issues, things like 49ers dislike. Exactly. He fumbled a few times. He's learned to catch the ball a lot better, but he had some issues. Like, he wasn't an all-around 49ers type back. Like, let's be honest. Like, be sure there's 17 people in here, by the way. Be sure to like the live if you haven't already. I really appreciate it a lot. But, yeah, I just don't think Mason fit the mold enough. Like, he couldn't block. He can catch the ball. Like, he learned to catch the ball. He got better at that, but he wasn't the greatest in the receiving situation. He was injury prone, fumbled. There's just some things that just didn't match the 49ers way. And I think with the Vikings, I think that'd be great for him. I think it'd be great for the Vikings. Hope the 49ers don't sign the ex-49ers Cowboy Dowdle. Oh, I would hate that. I would absolutely hate that with a passion. People are crashing out, man, over the Jordan Mason thing. I'm happy for Mason, though. Good for him getting laid. Getting paid. I'm sure you meant to say getting paid, but that's still funny. I'm sure he's still getting laid after this. I mean, he's got a bigger contract than he was going to get. So you're not wrong. Like, you're not wrong, but I'm sure you meant paid. I'm not crashing out over it. I think it's a great trade. How's everyone tonight? Michael in the house. Good to see you. Strawberry in the house. Thank you. Hey man, I try to be honest, man. I actually went in here thinking all my wolf pack was just gonna be upset, dude. I thought Strawberry, I thought One, I thought Papa, I thought everybody was gonna come at me throwing stones and being like, how dare you talk shit? How dare you? But nah, it's good to know that you guys are on board too. That kind of makes me feel a lot more comfortable. But I didn't want to lie to you guys, man. I got to be honest with how I feel about things. It's not about Mason being gone. It's about giving a bum Juice 2 years, $8 million over Mason. I'd rather have Mason. The thing is about Juice is he will start as a blocker. He was like, this feels like a reason to try to find a reason to hate on the 49ers. Mason ain't blocking. Kyle Juszczyk is blocking. He's doing things, man. He may not be touching the rock, but he's out there. He's going to be out there way more than Mason is. Mason's a third running back on the depth chart, man. This is great. If you want to get upset about 2 years, $8 million compared to the 2 years, $5 million for Jordan Mason, who would just be a third running back on our depth chart, I don't know what to tell you. Because I'd much rather have a guy. If Mason could block, right, then maybe I'd hear you out, but he can't. And I love having Juszczyk as a blocker. I wasn't a fan of us cutting him than signing him. I'll give you that. I think that's kind of stupid. But I would much rather have Kyle Juszczyk right now than Mason. Because Kyle Juszczyk is going to be there in the run game. He's going to block. He's going to be there in play action passes. I don't know, man. I disagree with that. I think that's going to be great. Paid, not laid. Yeah, I knew it. Don't be shocked if Bosa next be traded for another first. The 3-second CMC could be traded soon. Might not be this year, but can be next. No, they're not being traded, dude. CMC will probably get traded if he's absolute garbo. If CMC is absolute garbo this year, then yeah, but I don't see why a 49ers fan would be upset about that. I think a 49ers fan should be happy about that if CMC is garbage this year. But I think that that's not happening. Bosa's not getting traded. Like, the pillars aren't being traded, guys. Like, some people are thinking like Michael, no, I'm not calling you out or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, in general, people are starting to think like the sky is falling. And it's like, we got rid of players who were garbage. We lost players like people are freaking out that we lost Jalen Moore. Just because he got paid $15 million a year doesn't mean he was good. Just because Aaron Banks got $20 million a year doesn't mean he was good. He was buns. And he was injury prone. Right? Like Ufunga was already been replaced. These moves are fantastic. It's not rebuilding. We are literally retooling is how I see it. Like if we were rebuilding, we would have traded Nick Bosa. We would trade Ayuk. We would trade Brock Purdy even. We would trade Trent. Trent would be on this team right now. I'm telling you that right now. If we were rebuilding, Trent would not be on this team. He would be traded. George Kittle would be traded if this was a rebuild. The pillars of the team are not being traded. Garbage players and overpaid players in free agency or injury-prone players all are gone. I love this. I think this is I like this. I love what the 49ers are doing. I don't get it how 49ers fans are freaking out about the players we lost. I mean, I can understand Greenlaw to a sense, but he was injury prone. But everyone else, man, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, it seems perfect. Like, I'm fine. I love all these moves. I love this retool. I love being like all these players that we picked up in 2023 and 2024 offseason were absolute garbage. They needed to go. And that's what happened. I love it. I love it. A great one that two have nothing to do with each other. Mason was going to be traded no matter what after. Yeah, exactly. Mason will be run two behind the X running back. Yeah, he would be. How is Mason going to be a third running back when the man was leading and rushing at one point? CMC going to come back, stopping him from 1,000 yards. Yeah, but you're making again. You're looking for things to make it like an issue for the 49ers. Like you're trying to cause a problem. Like trying to be negative. This is a trying to be negative comment. You have CMC. I agree that I didn't like that. But this is a new season, a new fresh start. CMC is getting the start. Are you telling me you'd rather have you're going to give Mason the start over CMC in 2025? That's crazy. You could argue Garendo has higher upside than Mason. Way higher upside. So Mason becomes the third back. That's just how it is. That's what happens when you have great running backs. That's what happens when you have great running backs. When you have three great running backs, good running backs, CMC, Isaac Garendo, and Mason, one of them's going to go when you trade them. And out of the three, Mason can't block. Mason has fumble issues. Mason, out of the three, is not as good in the passing game. Mason's a good running back. Doesn't do anything else phenomenal compared to Isaac Garendo and CMC. That aside, you can be upset they signed Juice mutually exclusive. Yeah, that's true. I don't like the cut signing thing. I think that's kind of weird. But outside of that, that's fine. I really don't think that the Niners were trying to pick on the other, considering they play two different positions. Yeah. Noah's injuries prevented playing. Yeah, he did get injured too. So CMC is injury prone. This is the first time he's had like a major injury that's knocked him out. And then but when he was with the Panthers, he had that ACL tear, and then he had a full season after that and got traded. And CMC is by far better than Mason. So we're gonna need as many backs as possible. Well, you got Isaac, you got Abani Konda, you got Patrick Taylor, and then you got the draft, and then you got Isaac Garendo, and you got Mason. That's 5 backs right there. You're fine. Garendo is always hurt too. That's true. I'll give you that. Never said he wasn't. My comment specifically had to do with your comment. Blame CMC for him not having 1,000 yards. He got injured and missed like 8 games due to it. I want to think that they're setting up for Scatterbo. I would love for that to happen. Kyle Benchman, no, he also got hurt. Mason was going to play in that game where he had like 60-something yards and he was going to keep playing. But if you remember, he had a shoulder injury. Jordan Mason did. Do you all remember? Because everyone was upset that he had like 1 yard short of like beating the expected yards in like a bet or something like that. And then he got hurt, like his shoulder knocked him out of the game. and then it knocked him out for pretty much like multiple games. Do you remember? It's the reason why we played Patrick Taylor the last games. It was when CMC went out. Do you not remember that we had to rely on Patrick Taylor as our starting running back? If Mason was healthy, he would have been our running back. Jordan Mason was, but he wasn't because he was hurt. Jordan Mason had an opportunity when CMC went out. He had an opportunity, but no. You know what happened? He injured his shoulder, which knocked him out for the rest of the season. So to say that CMC stopped from 1,000 yards, it didn't. Jordan Mason had plenty of opportunities when CMC went down after the Bills game. There was multiple games after that. The reason why he didn't play is because he hurt his shoulder, and he's out for the rest of the season. So that's not true. He did not just get benched. This year's the year to be running back to deep running back draft. I agree. Scatabo, I would love Scatabo. Absolutely love Scatabo. Mock draft. Let's go, baby. I'll think about it. I can't disagree that Kyle runs down his running backs, but that's going to happen regardless of Mason being here. What about Caleb Johnson? He fits our system very. I'm not a Caleb Johnson guy. Like, I know a lot of people like Caleb Johnson, and a lot of people are a big fan. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of Caleb Johnson, are a big fan of him, but I think he benefited a lot from that Iowa offensive line and that scheme. I'm not entirely impressed, and he ran a poor 40. I'm not the biggest fan of Caleb Johnson. Lashul Tootin, 4th or 5th. I would take Tootin as well. He's super fast. He's the fastest running back in this draft. He fits the 49ers scheme. I like Tootin. I would totally take Tootin out there. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. Let's go. He can catch out of the backfield too. Not nearly as good as Garendo and CMC. Football, a job you could be on a team for a short or long-term time, could be traded. Yeah, especially when you got plenty of depth you want to fill on. Let's be honest, we don't need bum juice out there to block when we can put a tight end there as a fullback. I don't think it's that simple. I disagree with that assessment. That's Kyle looking out for his buddies. Bringing back Juice for $8 million is a great move. I didn't say it was a great move. I like the move. I like it because it's still a blocker. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that we cut him and signed him. That's something I don't like, but I do like him on the team because he was a great blocker. And when you have a great blocking fullback, it allows you to do a lot with the play action pass because you don't know if it's a run or a pass. And now we have a tight end who's like the second best pass blocking tight end or third, where the play action is going to get even better. So you have you have a really good pass blocking fullback, and you have a really good pass blocking second tight end. That means play action should be good. It's going to help out Brock Purdy a lot. It's going to help out the offensive linemen. It's going to help out the running backs. It's going to help out the wide receivers. It's going to help out George Kittle because with Farrell being out there and Juszczyk being out there, it really lets Kittle roam free in the passing game. I like it. I like it just because he doesn't touch the ball. You know, like that's the one thing. Like just because he doesn't touch the ball. I'm throwing this out there. I've heard people Spartan in the house. Throwing this out there. I've heard people say we should pass on CMC and trade him before he hits a cliff. What are your thoughts? No. I think if he's bad this year, yeah, but his bilateral Achilles thing is bad, but he went and had surgery on it, fixed it. And before his strain that he had in his knee, whoever in the Bills game, he was starting to look the same. That strain had nothing to do with his bilateral arthritis that he was having. So he was starting to look the same. If CMC can get back to his form and play good again, that's great. As long as I don't expect CMC to be the same as 2023 CMC. I don't expect that. I'm going to be honest with you. But I do expect him to still be good. I still expect him to be great. Because we're talking about CMC greatness, and then they're just talking about being a great running back. And I think CMC can come back and be a great running back still. Maybe not the best, maybe not the same as we once saw CMC, but my expectation is still for him to be relatively good. I still think he's going to be good. But if he's absolute trash this year, then yeah, you got to move on from him. So, because when you're talking about like, you can't just trade CMC and then he turns out to be fantastic somewhere else off of one if. Like that's a lot of what ifs. You can't do that. That's just too much, especially considering at the end in that Bills game, he started to look the same. he started to look like old CMC. Not gonna lie to you, in that Bills game before he strained his knee. So I think with a full off season of healing his knee, whatever, I think he could potentially come back and be still a great running back. Maybe not the same, but great. We want to hear your opinions, but keep it cool. Do the 49ers run a 3 linebacker scheme? They do not. No. CMC, Niners usually run a 4-2. Yeah, just about. Yeah, around a 4-2. They usually have a safety come up in the box. CMC healthy is an MVP caliber. I would not trade CMC. CMC is still good, I think. But he has high chance of getting injured. Dude, relax. Didn't say anything wrong. Just giving you a heads up. Vikings Keto in the house. Good late night. 49ers Empire. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hey, I'm happy about it. You guys got a good running back. We got a good draft pick. Appreciate you. Guerrero is a stud. Great move by us. Your running back. No doubt, man. No doubt. I'm happy for you guys. You guys got a solid backup running back who can play really good. If Aaron Jones comes out, you guys got a good running back. I like him. Lucky you didn't trade him to the Rams. Could have traded him to the Giants. Oh, we were never going to trade him to if we traded him to the Giants or the Cowboys or a division rival or the Steelers, I would be fucking pissed if that happened. Yeah, you guys got a good one. I hope you guys give him a better chance than we gave him. Any other good 49ers YouTube channel on here? Hey, he said any other good. That means he says I'm good. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. There's a few. There's Brad Graham. He's solid. Trying to think like what a depends. Are you a hater? Because I can throw you some hater channels. But I would say Brad Graham is probably up there. 49ers Media is a good dude. You know, I like him. He's a good guy. Terror Dome is good. Terror Dome's a good guy as well. That's what I would say. But bigger creators like Brad Graham is probably the best one, I think. Brad Graham, probably. Vikings, what do you guys think of Aaron Jones? We will. He's not bad, always injured. He's good when he's healthy. I was shocked you cut Juice and then signed him for 2 years. Yeah, all of us were, man. All of us were. We all were, dude. We all were shocked by that. Yeah, I'm still trying to process that move. If he's bad this year, there will be no trade value for him. You could probably get something for him, I'm sure. There's probably somebody out there that thinks they can get something out of him. Hey, probably get a 5th-round pick for CMC if he's bad. There's going to be somebody out there that thinks they can still milk a lot out of a running back, even if he's bad. So, yeah, Rams will sink and watch and believe. 90% CMC is better than most. I agree. See, me and Great One. Yeah, we agree on some. We agree on some. But yeah, I still think I'm not expecting CMC to be the same, but I'm still expecting him to be good. Speaking of mock draft, I'm starting to really come around on James Pierce. I didn't like him before, so that says something. He's actually a solid run stopper and can drop in coverage. Needs a pass rush bag. Yeah, he's fast. He can play that linebacker spot. He can pass rush and stuff. But you weren't wrong. He just doesn't have the bag, and that's the problem with the 11th pick. If the 49ers draft James Pierce, it would have to be by them trading back and like Nick Scorton's not there and a few other running DNs out there because we don't need it. We can't afford to have a guy who's a development situation. We need a guy who could start right away, someone who has a bag, someone who could perform right away. James Pierce, I did the same thing with you, man. When I first watched James Pierce, I was like, I don't know, dude. I'm not a big fan of him. And then I went and watched him like a month later. I can't remember when this was. And I was like, you know what? Not bad, actually. The more you look into him, the more you kind of fall in love with him a little bit. But the bag thing is what's holding me back. We need more of a polished D-end because we're expecting that D-end to start, right? So as much as I like James Pierce and his ceiling, we need a guy who can brush the passer immediately. I wouldn't count them out yet. Actually agree with Great One for once. CMC could be traded to Raiders if you give up on him. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it as long as he's bad. If he's bad, like he's genuinely bad, you know, then yeah, then move on from him. Get like a 5th for him. Get a 5th-round pick for him. You can't have he's bad. Just a reminder, AP had a 2,000-yard MP season after an ACL tear. True. But I got a feeling the bilateral arthritis thing is kind of worse for your career because arthritis, it's chronic, man. It's chronic. Even 9% is better than most running backs. Not CMC isn't get traded. Yeah, I don't want to see him get traded. The Giants, why the Giants? So that is a good question. Barkley better than CMC so far. I would say last year for sure. And then in the playoffs, I would say he was better than CMC in the playoffs. Than CMC was. I'll agree with that. But I think in season, yeah, I guess if you want to compare his 2024 season as Saquon Barkley's defining moment, I would say it's definitely 2024 was better than CMC's 2023. I'll agree with that. Jason is a good one. Yep. Haberman's not bad. Aponte, Papa J, Brian, 49ers Brian in the house. Papa J, that troll, great one in here. He's doing all right, man. He's not talking too much shit. He seems to be giving his opinion. Nothing crazy is happening. I support the 49ers. Hey, Vikings, I appreciate that, man. And we support you, man. We support you, except for when you had Sam Darnold. Sorry, I couldn't vote. I couldn't go for you guys, but I do want to see you guys win a Super Bowl for sure. I mean, you guys have had the most cursed situations in all of history. I feel bad. I really want to see you guys win a Super Bowl. You guys are like, to me, the Bills of the NFC. Franz Brown, he was not sure if he still is. I don't know if he's sure or not, but he was relatively fine. I don't think it was that bad. I really like James Pierce, but DT is a bigger priority. Also, you had the worst character report in the draft, which concerns me a little. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either. But I like James Pierce, but D tackle is significantly more important. Like, you're bone dry at D tackle. You have to go D tackle. Strawberry, block that clown. All right, so 49ers Brian is not a fan. Great one. Dave Lombardi, 49ers Access Sterling. I don't know those two. Coach, I'm not a fan of Coach. John Lund, I have no idea who that is actually. Terradome, big fan. 49ers Media, big fan of MCG, Ruthless. He comes in every now and again. Last Second Sports, don't hate him, don't love him. Rombo and many more. Rombo's solid. Rombo's a live guy that you chit-chat with. He kind of just chills with you and chit-chats with you, which is a nice vibe. My wife from Los Angeles, but a 49ers fan. Hey, we got a couple of we also have a Raiders fan whose wife is also a 49ers fan. So it's interesting how there's a couple wives out there, other teams that are 49ers fans. So that's actually kind of interesting. Niners had one bad season and said, rebuild time. I wouldn't say that. I think they had one bad season and realized with the easy schedule that we have, with the draft picks that we have, that it was a good time to move off of players that we signed in 2023 and 2024 offseason, to move off from them, right? To get away from the injury-prone players, to get away from the players that are asked for too much money, to get away from the players that did not help us, that will not help us at all, like Javon Hargrave, Malik Collins, Jalen Moore, overpaid like crazy. Hufanga has already been replaced. Ward was not coming back regardless because of his Ward sucks, but that makes sense why he's not coming back. That's something every 49ers fan should understand. Ward was not coming back because of what happened with his wife, and his wife does not want to be in San Francisco because it reminds me of how he lost his baby. Totally understand that. Dre Greenlaw, I love Dre Greenlaw, and a lot of people disagree with me. I'm in the minority here, but I'm fine with moving on with him because he was injury prone. And if you're not on the field, then you might as well not even be there. You might as well be Devontae Campbell at that point. But I'm fine with all the moves. The only move that I'm like, is the cutting Juice thing and signing Juice thing. That's kind of weird to me. But I wouldn't say rebuild. I think this is the perfect opportunity to. I think with the schedule we have, the draft picks we have, I think this is the perfect opportunity to get rid of the dead weight, such as what's his name? God, we got rid of someone else. Debo. Debo was dead weight. He had to go, man. Debo had to go. He was dead weight. I know a lot of people love him. There's some Debo stands out there, but my God, he was a liability in the Super Bowl. 11 targets, 3 receptions, couldn't get separation. Needed him to show up. He couldn't do it. And then in the 2024 season, all of our wide receivers go out. We need him to show up. Can't do it. Debo's a complimentary piece that we can't afford. That was a liability. So I'm happy he's gone. Papa says, you forgot Pig and a Pickle and Conehead. I actually don't mind picking a pickle. The thing with Pig and a Pickle is sometimes I hate him, sometimes I like him. I hate him. It's a love-hate relationship with Pig and a Pickle. It really is. Funny thing is, the only thing that they disagree with me on is Purdy. I love Purdy. And I think you don't like Purdy, but I love Purdy. I think Purdy should be signed. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, I blocked users, but never remember which ones. Yeah, you gotta move on. That means you don't let those users fuck with you. You don't move the shit. Like his speed to power and height, and he has 245, but clearly has the shoulder width and frame. But to put on some size, some say he's all pass rush. But no, his run stopping ability is good because of his lateral quickness. I think he's got some upside. He's got high upside. I think in a year he could potentially probably be the best pass rusher in this draft. But I think we need a guy now who can play. And I still think Nick Scorton is perfect. If we draft James Pierce, that dude's gonna have to put on like 15 pounds to fit the wide 9 scheme. He's gonna have to put on like 15 pounds. Yo, Papa, Pig and a Pickle. Will you support that? He's under a close eye. Pierce is also really good at mobile QBs when they watch the Bama game against Milroe. Not the best QB, but great mover. I remember, Jeff, you were like hating on him. Now you're falling in love with Pierce, man. Not me, Vikings. Wolfie. Oh, for hours, Brian Wood. No, I'm in here because he has me blocked. He's a witness and protect. He is in witness protection signing from the shadows with a fake voice. All right, let's try not to get personal. That's all I ask. It's one of my main rules, but yes, I can tell you guys don't like each other. I can tell. I got the vibe. Who? Rudy Taco? I don't even know who that is. I keep hearing about this Rudy guy. I've never heard him. Never heard of him. Ever. Never heard of this guy. Rombo owned Mooney last night. Bubba G. I just looked at the schedule. It is solid, dude. It is solid, Raptors. Raptors in the house. Forgot to give you a shout out. Yeah, I think there's a perfect opportunity for the 49ers to take advantage of there's a perfect opportunity for the 49ers to completely break down this roster and still make the playoffs. It's a perfect opportunity, man. You got the draft picks, you got the schedule, right? They have to come away with 2 D tackles that they consider starters day one. Because outside of like guard, you kind of have Ben Barch. You know, you got Brendel who could be replaced by Hennessy or whatever. There's players you can kind of mess around with there where you kind of fill in those positions a little bit. Wide receiver, you're good there. Running back, for the most part, you're still good there. Tight end, you still have George Kittle. Like offense, you're fine. Linebacker, yeah, you kind of like to have a better starter than Drake D. Winters or Bethune in that second linebacker spot, but still relatively good. Corners, relatively fine. Safety. D end even, you have Gross-Matos and Samo, but D tackle, there's nothing there. There's nothing there at D tackle. Evan Anderson, I guess Evan Anderson, but no, you need more there. I like Larry. He's a wishy-washy, but he's cool, a hard worker for sure. Yeah, dude. Like I remember Larry when he first started, man, and like he was just growing his content. I think back when he had like 500 subscribers, man. He was pumping out videos all the time, dude. When he was getting some love from Grant Cohn, when he do Grant Cohn's co-stream all the time, and Grant Cohn helped him out theoretically, so I understand why they're kind of like buddy. Grant Cohn really helped out Larry Krueger a lot to stand on his feet, get on his feet. But it helps that he has connections with like other players, being a former radio host and stuff. But starting off, man, he was like video. Like he was video. It was all the time, dude. He grinds, dude. He grinds. Except for all the Texans and Bucks. We have the Bucks number though. I think we did. Hargraves too. Hargraves, yeah, I thought he was a liability. I thought Hargraves needed to go, man. He was without a doubt a liability. Overpay. He had to go. Okay, I've checked him out. Rudy has no one but bots in his live. And we got no bots in here because you guys are all awesome and amazing. Thank you for being here, by the way. So be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. I really appreciate it for how awesome you guys are. Rudy looked like a gut at Taco Bell guy. I don't know who this is. I'm not going to lie to you. Eric Schoen in the house. How many years did Juice have left on his contract before they cut him? That's a great question. I think he had I think he actually had 2 because we gave him an extension last year, restructuring his contract too, and I think it was a 2-year deal, and that year was his last year. So I think 2 years was left on his contract. So I think so. But yeah, I think that the juice thing. The only thing I can think of for that release, and the only thing I can think of for that release was the fact that they were counting on Joey Bosa being signed. I think they put their chips in for Joey Bosa, and it didn't work out. And so they're like, okay, I guess we'll bring Kyle Juszczyk back. I think that's what happened. No, I honestly love Larry. He's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. He loves stuffing in his face at games. Damn. What else we got? What's wrong with Mason going to the Giants? Just because he would just die there. He wouldn't succeed there. Going there is terrible. Like he might, I guess he'd be the starter behind who's there? Tracy? I think his last name's Tracy, the running back for the Giants right now. I think his last name's Tracy. I could be tripping. But I just think he would go there to die, which is not something I want for Grin. It's not something I want for Mason. I want Mason to go somewhere where he can succeed. I want to go somewhere where Mason will have a chance to be awesome. And I think the Vikings is a perfect place for that. So I don't like guys like Kikita. He hasn't done that in here, so we're good. Rudy is cooked. Larry gets emotional sometimes, says some of the most ridiculous things. That does happen. He does get like really passionate and like really feels like he really gets like Tanner Mordecai. We should start Tanner Mordecai. Start Tanner Mordecai. Oh my God. Sometimes he does get a little ridiculous. Sometimes with trades. With trades, he gets ridiculous with trades. He's crazy. Larry with trades is bonkers, dude. I'd say that much. Backstory, sorry. Wolfie, no, I never hated Pierce. I hated Mason Graham. I could have sworn, man, you and there was somebody who we clashed with, or somebody you're clashing with. I don't know. Jeff, Wolfie isn't high on Graham either. Yeah, I'm not high on him, dude. I don't want to say I hate him. And I've said this 1,000 times. I'll just say it one more time. I don't hate him. I just think that he's not as good as everyone claims he is. I mean, the man's playing beside Kenneth Grant. He's playing beside another pass rusher who's going to be taken in the 3rd round. He's on an elite offensive line. And if you go look at his production, defensive line, you go look at his production, it's not that great. And then when you watch him play, he had one great game, in my opinion. That was against Minnesota. And everyone has a great game against that Minnesota line. Like every first round projected pass rusher to play against Minnesota this year had a fantastic game. So I don't look at that. Larry's tenfold, Brian, tenfold. Wolfie bro, remember just because Scorton can play now, why just said Pierce can turn into the best pass rusher in the class and a good edge rusher. Remember, we need a true blue chip player for years. I do, but I think Nick Scorton could be up there too on that same tier. I think Nick Scorton has that ability to be the best too. So does James Pierce. I'm going with Nick Scorton because he fits the scheme of the wide 9 a lot better. I think James Pierce is like my 4th or 5th. Sorry, he's like my 5th or 6th pass rusher in this draft. So, and it's not the end of the world that you don't get the very best pass rusher as long as you get a really good pass rusher. So I'd much rather get a pass rusher I know is going to fit the scheme, knows going to do well day one, and will turn out to be great in the end compared to a guy who needs a year and could potentially be the best. There's a lot of what ifs there compared to another guy who I feel a lot more happy with, a lot more solidified with. Strawberry, yeah, I don't like Graham. Lombardi is the GOAT. Rambo is the king. Wolfie catching both. Hey, I like that. It's a good vibe. We all have our favorite guy, man. I understand. We all have our favorite guy. I always wonder what the hell was that on Eric Shutt's picture, though. I think it's eggs. I think it's Eggman from I think it's Eggman. Grant a meltdown today with Juice coming back. It was beautiful. Oh, he hates Juice though. Ever since he made that gay joke, he could not take it, man. It was clearly a joke. Like, it was what Kyle Juszczyk did was clearly a joke, man. And if he just blew it off his shoulder, no pun intended, but if he just shrugged it, if he just knocked it off his shoulder, I don't think anybody would have thought too much of it. I often forget about it, but like, he made like a big deal, and it's like, dude, it's just a joke, dude. Like, I'm like one of his biggest haters, and I thought that's a funny joke. Because if he seriously did that, because if he seriously acted like that in the locker room, he would have been kicked out of the locker room. You know what I mean? He would have been kicked out of it. Yeah. Tyrone Tracy. There you go. Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, Jake, always showing up. I appreciate you. Later, my favorite 49 favorite. Hey, peace out, 49 Brian. Appreciate you coming in. Hope you hit that like button, man. Also, if the 49ers are Super Bowl contenders this year, I want apologies for all the casuals saying our team is falling apart and that we'd last in our division. I don't think we'll be last in our division. You know, I also thought we were going to be number one in our division last year, but I mean, we'd have injuries. We can get all through that, but let's try not to do that. But I think we could, but that's a tall Super Bowl contender. I'll pump the brakes there, but we could definitely make the playoffs with this schedule, and if we address the needs at D tackle. Honestly, if we just get 2 solid D tackles and a solid D end, I don't see how we're not, with the schedule we have coming up, I could totally see us making the playoffs. But I am a little skeptical about being a contender, though. Contender's a little bit different. Rudy runs Relentless Sports Report, a Rams channel. He goes on Rambo and comes up with ridiculous things to say about the Niners. Yeah, he's probably just trolling. Trolls, that's what trolls do, man. They try to get a reaction. Trolls live for it. See what I'm saying? 49ers Brian high in time. A reason why I like Derek, as long as Great One and everyone else, as long as you guys could be negative, you guys can say something that you disagree with, that's fine. You guys control a little bit, I don't mind, but as long as it doesn't get out of hand, that's all I ask. Just don't get out of hand. And you know what I mean by that. Like, some people say some crazy shit. I just ask for a little bit of containment. A reason why I really like Darren Harmon is because he's the guy on the D-line. So he didn't benefit from somebody else like Graham or Grant. Yeah, I agree with that too. I think he was like the guy. He was dominant, dude. I know there is caveats with Derek Harmon, like what Jeff said about Harmon. Like, he does miss tackles. He does sometimes miss tackles, but I feel like that can be addressed, especially with Robert Saleh. I think Robert Saleh can fix that. But outside of that, man, he's phenomenal at everything else. He's played football, but I would say people on the internet can say anything. Like, I could say, hey, I used to work for a football team that you think of. Like, I used to work for the Vikings. You would never be able to disprove it. You'd never be able to disprove it. Keenum, he did. I didn't know that. Blah, blah, same here. I didn't mean to say blah, blah, but you know what I meant. Wolfie, you got to trust me on this one. I've done a lot of film on Pierce's weaknesses. Sometimes he goes missing in games and pass rush. That's it, though, and he gets it off. His speed is elite. His speed is elite. I mean, he's got it. He's got it, dude. I like him. Like, if we end up getting James Pierce, but I'd much rather get James Pierce in the second round. I'd much rather get James Pierce if we trade it back and he's the only D-end available outside of Nick Scordon, Mike Green. I like Princely more. Abdul Carter, obviously, but that's a pipe dream. That's never happening. And then I like him up there with like Jack Sawyer and James Pierce. Between James Pierce and Jack Sawyer is kind of how I like him up there. But I'm not saying James Pierce is bad. Right. Obviously, if I'm saying he could potentially be as good as someone, I want some Nick Scordon. I much rather have, and I don't think he gets a lot of hype. I feel like Nick Scordon's going to fall in drafts. I feel like Nick Scordon's going to fall to like the 20s and probably potentially second round picks. Not a lot of people are talking about him. Let's go for his taco supplies. Hey, I like Taco Bell. I'm not gonna lie to you. We got 11 likes. I appreciate you guys. We got 12 likes actually. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. He's good at a lot, but not elite at everything. I don't know, man. He's a monster. He's so good. Not elite at anything for scoring, just very solid. I don't see him being a blue chip, just solid player. That's wild. Okay, all right. We'll agree to disagree on that one. I think Scordon is going to be a great pass rusher. I think he's got high upside. I think he's going to be fantastic. I'm a big fan. Grant Dunce says, Jake, I see you guys can win the West. I think we can too. I mean, a lot of people are putting a lot of chips on the Rams because they had a phenomenal draft. But, I mean, the Rams, it's going to be between the Rams. I think the Seahawks are still working on – the Seahawks would have to have the greatest draft ever. They would have to repeat what they did with Legion of Boom, and they would have to have Sam Darnold play as good as he did with the Vikings, which I don't see happening. Cooper Kupp would have to be like his old self again. That offensive line for the Seattle Seahawks would have to suddenly get better. Kenneth Walker would have to constantly stay healthy. Their D-line would because, I mean, they just have Leonard on that line. I can't remember his last name, but you know what I'm talking about, Leonard. They just have him. And outside of that, Byron Murphy, I guess, but I've heard he's kind of not working out, kind of coming off as a bust right now. Tyreek Woolen is not looking as he did on his first year. They have Devin Witherspoon, who's not bad, but they need help at safety. They need help at linebacker. They have significantly more holes, than the 49ers do. Cardinals, man, I don't know, dude. They're so – just when you think they're going to be great, they're not. Just when you think they're going to be bad, they're good. I cannot, for the life of me, pinpoint Cardinals. They're so random, right? They're so random. I don't get it. But if the 49ers can just nail the draft with 2 D tackles and a D end, I think they go back to their winning ways. That's really their biggest problem right now. Leonard Williams, Jake, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that. They did sign a few players. They got Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, and they got someone else. I think they got D tackle, some kind. I can't remember who it was. They fixed the D line. I don't care what people are saying. I'm calling it the Niners are winning the NFC West. Let's go, one. Let's go, dude. I love it, man. Pour some water in the cup. Pouring water in the cup. That's what I like to see, man. Strawberry, we got 14 people watching, only 13 likes. I'm willing to bet you haven't hit that like yet. That's funny. 17 people in here, guys. Please hit that like button. I really appreciate it. We're at 13 likes. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my 49ers heart. I appreciate you. They're all over the place. They really are. It's Murray that kills us every time we play the Cardinals. Yeah, for some reason, man, we don't do very good against mobile quarterbacks. Mobile quarterbacks burn us all the time. Doesn't matter who the defensive coordinator is. It could be Robert Saleh, it could be DeMeco Ryans, it could be Steve Wilkes. Does not matter. For some magical reason, we can't lock down run. We can't lock down. It's something in the water, man. It's something in the water when it comes to mobile quarterbacks. But I mean, if you can get a solid linebacker in the draft, man, use him as a spy. Fred Warner. You know, that's why another reason why linebacker is sort of important is because those mobile quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, you want a good, fast spy guy. So I think like Demetrius Knight would be a good guy for that. Danny Stutzman, I like him a lot too. There's a few guys I think you get in the draft that would be good for against Kyler Murray. So, but yeah, the mobile quarterbacks have always been an issue since Jim Harbaugh days. It's rather weird. So Reddick went to the Bucks. Oh, okay. I thought he went to the – I could have sworn. Leonard Williams, okay, up to 17 watch. Cool. We have trouble with Murray and with Russ, those type of QBs. I don't get it. Any opinions on that? I don't understand it. It's an absolute curse, man. We're at 14 likes, baby. Let's fly. Caw. Oh my God. I sound like a Seahawks fan. All right. Murray with his toddler style running. He does look so small, dude. He looks so small, man. He looks puny, dude. Like him and Bryce Young, dude. Freaking fracking small, dude. They look, when you see his tiny little legs run. Let's go ahead and bring it up. Hold on. I've heard potentially that there might be that they might trade Kyler Murray, but I think that's just a rumor. I think it's an opinion piece that someone made about Kyler Murray. I don't think it's actually a real thing. I'm trying to find an image real quick. Hold on. All right. This is a real photo of Kyler Murray right here. Okay. This is how tiny this guy is. This is a real photo, guys. This is a real photo of Kyler Murray. This is how tiny this dude is. This is how tiny this guy is. Okay. This is a real photo. This is a real photo. Look how small he is. No wonder he's getting through tackles and dodging people and shit. You know what I mean? He's tiny. He's tiny. He looks like a mod on a video game. He could play Mario Kart. He is the guy. He is literally, this is what Mario would look like outside of the cart. Okay? That's Kyler Murray. I'm telling you. Tiny, bro. Tiny. See that football in his hands? Somehow he makes the football look smaller than it is. Oh my God. Carlos Kibi is so small he fits in an elf cricket for sure, dude. Mike Urtaza in the house. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Appreciate you joining. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Let's go. We got some laughs. Hey, we got laughs, man. That's the W in my book. No matter how this live went, got some laughs for you guys. It's all I care about, man. That's what it's all about. Just having a good time. Try catching a mouse. It really is, dude. You kind of almost, I'm not saying that you should get a pass, like the team should get a pass, but considering how small he is and how shifty it is, the tackle box for, even if how big a tackle box is for a player, you still have to put, your arms are only so big. So him being like small, like you have to really nail it. Like absolutely nail that legs. Like longer legs are easier to tackle than shorter legs because you can just hop, right? And that hop it takes a lot shorter time to get out of that tackle box. So he has the ability to get out of a tackle box so much easier. So I kind of give him a pass a little bit because he has that shiftiness, but at the same time, man, you got to figure it out. I mean, it's been years. You got to figure out how to stop him and then run again. Mario Kart Murray. There you go. Mario Kart Murray. That's a good nickname right there. I've been loving David's videos. The football is as big as he is. The defender is looking down to me. Oh, that is true. He is, dude. All right, I'm going to bring it up. Bring it back up. He is looking down, dude. The defender is looking right at him, too, dude. Oh my God, it really is. The defender's looking right at his ass as if he's actually that small. Oh my God. Okay, this is turning to a Kyle Murray hater video. That's absolutely hilarious. Oh my God. If you want us to get good about that, James Pierce is our guy. This Larry Quinn is great, not just speed, but sideline. His vision is great. Perfect. I love that. He's like, hey. Remember that thing you said, James Pierce? Guess what? James Pierce. He'd be good against pass. He'd be good against mobile quarterbacks. I like how Jeff just jumped right in that, took advantage of it. I love that. He also be great in Madden. Like having James Pierce in Madden, you know those Madden people are just salivating at the thought, dude. Salivating at the thought. My Arizona is the mod for the one and only David Lombardi. You gotta check him out and subscribe to their channel. Oh, is he? Oh, he is, isn't he? Oh shit. Matt Matt, did I say this right? Matt Urtaza? Is it Urtaza? I say it with a little bit of an accent. So I'm assuming it's a Spanish last name. So Mike Urtaza. Check him out. Do it. Look up and down. Let's hop on the Magic School Bus ass runner. That's a good one, Jake. If the Niners fix their D-line, I think regarding their easy ass schedule should go like 12-5. There's a lot of opportunity there. There really honestly is. Like a lot of people are just freaking out. I think what's happening right now is on a serious note, I just think that a lot of people are freaking out just because of the mass exodus. It is a little traumatic. It is like I love all the moves. I really honestly do. I really enjoy them. But if I had to be honest, it is a little traumatic. right? It is a little like a lot at once. So I understand where fans are coming from, and it doesn't help when you have casuals or hater content creators, or you have non 49ers fans and stuff like that jumping in on the train while the max exodus is happening. I could see how it could be blown out of proportion, how it could be blown into this big thing where it's like, oh, the 49ers are done, their window's over, they're cooked, they're screwed, they need to trade everybody. I can see where it comes from. But there's just some people out there, though, that I'm disappointed that they think this is a rebuild. Or I kind of expected more 49ers fans to be like, yeah, we don't like Hargrave. He was bad. We needed to get rid of him. I expected a lot more 49ers fans to be like, yeah, I love Huff and all, but we got Mustafa and Jair Brown. So, like, we don't need another strong safety, right? Or Jalen Moore. I expected a lot more people to be like, Jalen Moore was a backup who was not good until this last year, where he showed potential. Like, there's some of these moves, I'm shocked that a lot of people are just blown way out of proportion, because I expected a lot more 49ers fans to be a lot more like, I understand why. It's just a lot at once. I see where it's coming from. But all these players, man, had to go. These players had to go. Like, I'm shocked. I've been shocked this entire way. It's just a lot at once. That's all. That's all it is, really. 16 likes, and you're 4 away. 4, dude. 4 from 20. All right. Some comments here. Yeah, the D-line and Brendel are the biggest concerns. And the thing about Brendel is you have Hennessy, Drake Nugent, who's a project that could probably steal his job. Ben Barch can also play center. So center's not the end of the world, I don't think. I do think it's something you should address. But if Barch, Hennessy, and Nugent aren't actually better than Brendel, I would be shocked at this point. I'd be genuinely upset. I mean, I'm not gonna say Jake Brendel is gonna be the starter. I'm not gonna freak out yet. I'm gonna freak out till it's announced that he's a starter. If it's announced that he's a starter going into 2025, he's the guy, then yes, you guys are free to freak out. But there's a lot of time between the draft. There's still some free agent centers out there that you could take a flyer on, give it a shot at. There's some players on our depth that one of them is a project. One of them is hold on. All right. I don't know what he said, but I saw a slur, so I just wanted to make sure. I just got rid of him. All right. So, but I think that the D tackle is like the only dry bone like position. Everything else, there's potential. Everyone is overreacting to every transaction. Yeah, they're feeling themselves, man. It's just all at once, man. It's just trauma all at once, man. It's just trauma. It's like your parents, you knew were heading for a divorce and actually got divorced. Like, you know why they got divorced. You're like 25 years old, and then your parents always argued with each other. They always threw things at each other. It always got crazy, and you're like, okay, they're bound to get divorced. And then it actually happens, and you're like, oh shit, they got divorced. It's kind of like that. It's just a lot happening at once. Just, I think that's just what it is. So, sorry, Fat Finger, and hit send before I could finish typing. I missed it. Defenders be like, holy shit, that's a huge ant. Mike, that ant, that is the Niner Empire for you. Niner Empire. Our losses will probably be the Bucks, Texans, Rams, maybe Cardinals or Seahawks, and maybe even a surprise loss to the Bears. That is definitely possible, the Bears. I mean, the Bears, they have a lot of potential there to be really great. They have a lot of potential to be fantastic, actually, they have a great offensive line now. They have the wide receivers. They have the running back. Who's the running back? Well, I guess they could draft Genty. So if they draft Genty, I want to say if I'm the Bears, I'm drafting Genty. I'm getting Ashton Genty. You have a Dunze. I think they have a solid tight end. I could be wrong. I think they have a good tight end. And then you have like a great offensive line now. Probably going to be one of the best in the league based on potential. that offense with Ben Johnson should do phenomenal. So, like, there's no excuses. I know that people say that last year for Caleb Williams, but this year, man, there really can't be. Like, what more do you want for a guy? Like, that is no. If they get Genty, man, they're solid. They are solid. They are so perfect. Seahawks, I think we're going to beat the Seahawks twice. I think we could beat the Cardinals twice. Rams, I think the Rams might get one on us. Texans, that could be a loss, but the Texans are having their own issues. I don't know if you guys have been keeping track of it. They have offensive line issues. They still have wide receiver issues. Their defense is still a little sketchy right now. Texans, I think we could beat the Texans. Bucks kind of stayed the same. If I'd be honest, Bucks kind of stayed the same, and we beat the Bucks twice already. So I'll give one of the Rams. I'll give one of the Bears. Cardinals and Seahawks, I think we could sweep them. Texans, possibly. Bucks, we beat them twice already, especially when we're depleted. We still beat the Bucks. Maybe. Had to, and now you're coming around more on Pierce, watching his coverage snaps. 2 PFF has him as the 12th best player and second best edge in the draft. Mock draft database sim has him as 17th best ranked player. I'm just not early second rounder, man. Late first kind of type guy. 4th, maybe 5th edge rusher, possibly even 6th. Somewhere around there is kind of type guy. But I don't hate him. I don't hate him. Never have, really. And all of the conspiracy theories that have come up, the overreactions are unbelievable. I know. But that's the thing as 49ers fans. We're going to have to endure a lot. We are going to endure so much criticism until we're proven wrong. Then we get to rub it in their face. And guess what? Because you were faithful, you get to rub it in their face confidently, excitedly, happily, because you know what this team is made of. Even if you took away your bias, you still have Fred Warner. You still have Nick Bosa. You still have Trent Williams. You still have George Kittle. You still have Juwan Jennings. You have Pearsall, who's on the rise. You still have Brock Purdy. You still have CMC, who's at least going to be great, right? I'm not expecting the same, but he's still going to be great. You have Isaac Guerrero. You have Mustafa, who's looking like an absolute stud. You have Lenore. You have Green, who's looking like a stud as well. People don't know, right? Haters don't know. People outside the 49ers who are casuals who barely look at the 49ers roster and be like, who is that guy? Just because someone's not a household name anymore on the team like Debo, people think it's all over and done. But what they don't know is we've been watching the 49ers for a very long time. We know who has been a liability. We know who's been holding back this team. And the players we got rid of were that. We know that. So it's all up from here. That's how I look at it. I think we beat the Bucks. They lost another OC. They're going to regress at some point. Yeah, that's true. They did lose their OC. That's right. So who is their new OC? Who is their OC? You want to know who's screwed? The Steelers. They still have Arthur Smith and no quarterback. The Steelers have no quarterback and they have Arthur Smith. So some guy named Josh Grizzard. Didn't we sign a guy named Josh Grizzard? Who was promoted from his role as the team's pass game coordinator after Liam Cohen left. Oh, he could be good. He learned under Liam Cohen. Could be a good fresh legs. He might not be bad. We'll see. Only way for the Bears to beat us if we don't fix the run defense, which is entirely possible. Yeah. We're going to get some D tackles to fix that, though, I think. Brendel's beloved by Forrester. He is, dude. I call Forrester the Nick Sorensen of the offensive line. I actually can't stand him. I agree. Have no starting D tackles. Biggest need. Draft 2 D tackles with the first 2 picks. Yeah, yep. Mike from David Lombardi. Yep. Yes, sir. Decided to grace us. I appreciate you, man. I did recognize the profile pic. I was like, I've seen that profile pic before. I've seen that profile pic before. Bears can go running back second round. They have pick 30. That's true. They can also use those picks to trade up they could use those picks to trade up to top 15 if they wanted to, something like that. Honestly, if the 49ers traded back to 20 and they offered both those picks, could be tempting. I don't know if I'd do it, but that'd be tempting. Nothing much, trying to hide from the overreactions. It's very hard. But you just have to know as a 49ers fan that right now haters are going to live it up because there's too many of them in a battle. the only way you're going to win is you have to wait until the draft is over, and then you have to wait until the season. So it's just waiting time, man. It's just getting through it, dude. It's hard too. Like I've tried my best to not argue with haters and stuff like that in TikToks and stuff, and fellow 49ers fans who are freaking out. There's nothing you could do. The only thing you could do is just wait. Just wait to be proven right. That's all you got. That's all you can do, really. The gap ain't that big from Genty and the other running backs. I disagree, dude. That's actually, I think that's a hot take. Do you guys think that's a hot take? I think that's a hot take. I think it's Genty, and then I think Genty's in his own tier. Amari Hampton, I'm not the biggest fan of him. A lot of people like Caleb Johnson. I'm not a fan of him. I love a lot of later guys like Ollie Gordon is solid. I'm a big fan of Ollie Gordon II. I think he'd be phenomenal in this squad. Dylan Sampson from Tennessee would be great. I think Tuden from Virginia Tech would be good too as well. If I'm the Bears, man, I'm taking Genty. I'm taking Genty. With that offensive line, everything's set. All you need is a solid running back. Take the best one. The Bucs got Hassan Reddick, and they didn't have Evans or Godwin last time. That's true. Well, they had Mike Evans. They didn't have Godwin though, but they had Evans against us. Mike, exactly. It was clear to see some of this coming and from what you're hearing. Who are some names for pick 11? James Pierce, Walter Nolan. Thanks, man. Man, dude. Just like Amon Membu, Derek Harmon would be solid. But I just trading back, dude. You got to trade back. You got to. This is a good place to hide from all that. True. 49ers have 1,400 snaps to replace in the defensive line, 600 at D-hen, 800 at D-tackle. That's a mathematical way of breaking it down. Well, you can find that with a rookie. I mean, you're going to find a rookie should be able to do those snaps. So, I mean, they're young. You know, they're not exhausted all the time. Probably get some 2 solid 3 down D tackles you can get, you know. Wolfie, bro, that might be your worst take ever. Everybody had Pierce as top 4 edge and as top 20 player. Hey, call it a hot take, man. But I think he's like a 4th, 5th, 6th round edge, somewhere between there. I don't think he's top 3. But hey, I respect it. Hey, I have hot takes, man. The Mason Graham one, that's supposed to be a hot take. A lot of people like that. So, yeah, Mike, yeah, true. So you're hearing go edge or D tackle 11. You got to go. You have to go edge or D tackle first round. There's literally no other choice. At pick 11, the 49ers need to get bigger. Kenneth Grant makes a lot of sense, especially if they change their philosophy and get defensive tackles who are elite against the run. Why is everyone big on Kenneth Grant? Call me Kenneth Grant's biggest. I'm the biggest hater of a lot of players that people love. I like Kenneth Grant. I would have hated at 11. I'm trading back, dude. I mean, just take a pick of the litter, dude. I would take Kenneth Grant like in the 20s. I don't know about the 11th. I don't know about the 11th. I'll just trade back. Mike, that's a great subject that you're bringing up. Luke Gifford. It's Josh Grizzard. Luke Gifford is the guy we got. That's right. Luke Gifford and Josh Grizzard. Close. Mike, 100%, especially in wide 9. We need a big D tackle to take a block on to help our linebackers. Derek Harmon. Love Kenneth Grant. I think Evan Anderson may become a good starter for us, but he needs time. I agree. I think he could be a good second D tackle on this line. He could. He's got a lot of potential, but it's just so many ifs there. Hampton is a dual threat. This is a hot take, by the way. How I feel about Hampton. I think he's average. I know. You guys are like, what did you just say? I think Hampton's just When I watch him, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed by Hampton. Call me crazy. You got it. Now that, Jeff, might be the hottest take I've ever had. Not the biggest fan of Hampton. Not the biggest fan. Mike, and they had a formal interview with Kenneth Grant, and apparently he's high on their draft board. I heard. Ooh, okay. If he works out, it's fine. But I like Derek Harmon so much. I like him so much. DJ Giddens, okay, that's a good one too. Dylan South and Bashul Tuden, yeah, those are good running backs. No, both Evans and Godwin were hurt. Well, were they? I could have sworn Evans was there, but if that's the case, then we got a lot coming. Then we have a lot to work on for sure. I would love Chicago to pick Genty, more chance Monu to follow the 49ers. True. I like the reason why I like Membu at 11 compared to like a D tackle or whatever is because Membu could play right tackle and guard. You can play two positions, so you fill two needs by getting Membu. You're doing two things at once, which I like. If you can fill two positions at once, it's even better. It's kind of like Gray Zabel. If you got Gray Zabel, he could play center, guard, and tackle. So, if we got Membu, I wouldn't hate it, but I also would be worried about the D tackle position still. I'd still be worried. Great one is right. Hampton is good at everything. There isn't a big gap. I disagree. I think he's okay. I don't think he's that great. How many primetime games do you think the 49ers will play, and who are the teams you play on primetime? It's probably a Thursday night game against Seattle or the Rams. Well, probably against the Rams. There's probably be a Thursday night game against the Rams for sure. Probably not that many, to be honest, because I think that a lot of people are not going to think highly of the 49ers. And when that happens, you don't get primetime games. I think the 49ers are going to have like 3, a Monday night football game, a Thursday night football game, and maybe a Sunday night football game. So probably not that many. I don't think they're going to have that many. If Membu falls, I'm taking Grant. If not, trading back. Yeah, I would. I want to trade back. I don't care, dude. There's too many options, dude. There's just way too many options, dude. How much tape you've watched? Man, you're fighting for James Pierce. It's crazy. Not just highlights, but full 22 defensive snaps. Tennessee, trust me, I felt somewhat similar to you about him, but then watched his improvements. I've seen his improvements and when he's gotten better, but I'm not saying he's bad. Like, he's just not ready. He's not year one ready. He's going to be good. It's just that you're banking on a bunch of what ifs compared to a guy that will start, will fit the system. Like, he's good. I'm not going to be convinced, man. I've tried to convince myself of James Pierce because everyone was raving about him because of the combine and stuff. And I was like, all right, I'll go back and take a look at him and stuff. I just don't change my mind about him. I'm not feeling James Pierce, man. And then I know a lot of people love James Pierce, especially after that combine, but I'm not falling to the James Pierce trap. I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's year one for sure. I don't think he's the best. Juwan, Evans, and Godwin were injured, and the OC incorporated running backs to creatively generate passing offense. OC is gone now. All right. I hear you. All right. So Evans and Godwin wasn't there. All right. So I'm a little all right. So maybe the Bucks might be better. Maybe the Bucks. Maybe. True, but they definitely adjust. Baker has had a different OC every season with the Bucks. I like Baker Mayfield. A lot of people don't like Baker, but I like Baker. I actually like it. I hope you guys pay Purdy and hope he doesn't sit out. He doesn't seem like a sit out type, and I don't think we're gonna go that far. I don't think the 49ers could afford that kind of drama right now. I don't think the 49ers could afford those kind of problems. So I don't see that happening. I think he's going to get paid in late May. I heard that as a rumor, and I kind of agree with that rumor. I kind of agree that Purdy's going to get paid somewhere in like late May or something like that. I'm on board with that. We always play in Seattle on Thursday. Always. That's true. I mean, it's a pretty good rivalry, so. Pierce has some plays where you say, wow, that's some of the best get-off I've seen, and then you look at speed and power against a bigger O-line. Then Caden Proctor was 6'7", and Pierce owned him. Yeah, but is that guy a high-profile offensive lineman or just a big dude? Because I don't doubt his ability to run around offensive linemen, but in the NFL, it's going to take a lot more than just being able to get around offensive linemen. I love watching the Seattle Seahawks and Niners on Thursday Night Football. It's become a yearly tradition. Plus, we rarely lose on Thursday Night Football. I like that too. Like, come on, Wolfie. Hey, you gotta respect it. Juan, that's fair. But at some point, they could see a slight regression. It's not often you hit on coordinators that frequently. That's true. That is true. All right. Look at Jalen Hurts. Didn't have that great offensive coordinator. Didn't play that well. Then he got a good offensive coordinator. He played great. Jalen Hurts shot there. Jalen Hurts shot. Pierce doing great against left tackle, who is 6'7", 300, and had 1.5 sacks against him and 5 pressures. I don't doubt his ability to get around. I don't doubt his ability to get around people, but it's not in the NFL. It's going to be a lot harder. He's definitely year one ready and will be a blue chip player. Okay, we'll see. We shall see. That's definitely a we shall see thing. But I if he might be that in year 2, I'll give you that. He might be that in year 2, but I'm going to give him one more year one. Year one. How is Pierce? And this guy's fighting for Pierce. How is Pierce a what if? His production is incredible. Last 13 sacks this year, 9 sacks in his highest pass rush win, 23%, highest in all college. How is he not ready if his production, he doesn't have a bag. He doesn't have a bag. He relies on his instincts and speed. When that happens, you can be great in college with those kind of productions and those abilities. But if you do not have a bag, if you cannot win with IQ, you are not ready year one. You could win with speed. You might win one here and there. But if you don't got a bag, if you don't got the ability with high IQ to make it happen against actual real right tackles, real left tackles who are actually good, you're actually going to need to show up. It's going to take a lot more than just speed to get around edge rushers. And the thing is also, like, when he will be good when he gets around the edge and then quarterbacks are moving to the left, he's got a good chase. He has the ability to hunt down the quarterback after the quarterback has rolled out because he's super fast. But if you're asking for him to get off and then perform the moves that he needs to, he isn't going to do it. He's going to rely a lot on his instincts and a lot on his speed. And I think actual real right tackles, real left tackles who are professionals, who are a lot better at their job than people in college, he's going to get stumped. He's going to get pushed down. He's going to be thrown to the side. That's what's going to happen. You got to have a bag in the NFL. You got to have a bag. If we get edge rusher in the second, JT Tallman and Prince Amali should be the move. I like Princely. I'm not the biggest fan of JT. He's more of a run stopper kind of type edge rusher, not your greatest pass rusher. But he's a solid wide 9 run stopper guy. I'm not the biggest fan of JT. I would always move off of him, but I do like Princely. I'm a big fan of Princely. So I would take Princely over James Pierce. Because Princely actually has a bag. He actually knows what he's doing. I actually like him a lot. But yeah. Laughing. JT really rarely gets talked about. Why is that? I don't know. It's kind of like Nick Scorton. Nick Scorton doesn't talk about a lot. JT doesn't get talked about a lot. What's that one guy? I can't think of his name. His name's like Izukuroku or something like that. It's something crazy. He's got like a Pokemon last name. I can't think of it. It's like Izukuroku or something like that. He had a crap ton of sacks. He looks fast off his get off. Incredible instincts. He's someone who's more like James Pierce, but ready. Like he's phenomenal. No one really talks about him either. There's just some guys that just fall through the cracks, and players like that tend to fall through the cracks. It just happens. And the bright side of that, when players like that you love don't get talked about, they fall in the draft. And when they fall in the draft, guess what? You get the guy you wanted. So there's also options in the third. Kyle Kennard and Ashton Gillette may have misspelled that. I haven't done too much of Kyle Kennard. I'm not the biggest fan. Ashton Gillette, I have not watched this film, so I actually do not know about that. Because people are high on Sawyer, I prefer JTT, but others don't, including Wolfie. I like Sawyer more than JT. Sawyer's clutch. Sawyer's got heart. He's not the fastest guy or whatever, but there's just something magical about Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer has sometimes, man, you don't have to be the fastest, strongest, or anything like that, but the biggest. But Jack Sawyer, dude, he has the it factor. There's something about him that makes him clutch. He's clutch. He gets the job done. I trust a lot on I like Jack Sawyer a lot. I really do. I'm a big fan of Jack Sawyer. He has good dip and pass rush move. At least he has one move. Shamir Stewart has 0. I hate Shamir Stewart. I have something we can get on along with Jeff. I don't like Shamir Stewart. Shamir Stewart's like super overhyped. I can't stand Shamir Stewart, dude. When I watched Shamir Stewart play, I was like, this guy's like a 4th rounder. Then I went and did my research. Nah, man. Nah. Apparently he's supposed to be like this. He was a 1st and 2nd rounder, then became a 1st rounder, and he's moving up draft boards. Solomon Thomas, ass motherfucker. I'm telling you. When will you do a mock draft? I think it's 1:30. Oh, hour and 30 into this. Hate on me, but I watched some Princely highlights and I was not impressed. I definitely would not take him above James Pierce. Okay, I respect it. I know that's a hot take. I do know that James Pierce is highly regarded. I know that James Pierce is highly regarded as a mid 1st rounder. A lot of people love him. I know, I'm aware that the Princely over James thing is a hot take. I'm aware. But I love James. I like Princely a lot. Absolute stud. But he moves, but I'm not gonna just agree with somebody just because it's possible a hot take or a lot of people are gonna disagree with me. I'm just gonna say what I like, and if I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, I like it. But yeah, he moved to early to late 1st, and now Shamir Stewart is now he's now like some people are saying that he should go in like the top 10. I've seen a couple mock drafts where people put him in top 10. Blows my mind. So I like Elijah Roberts too. I don't mind him. Actually, I don't like him. Elijah Roberts, all right. He's all right. One, everybody knows Pierce is that dude. Vikings, he did one earlier today. Yeah, I did one earlier today. 49ers apparently are high on El Adaho. I have not even watched this film yet, so I don't even know if he's good or not. Do you guys like him? I don't know if you guys I don't like him or not. Do you guys like him or not? He's supposed to be like a 3rd round pick. So we do know one this week since Mason was traded. I'll definitely do one for sure at some point. I'm probably going to do a draft. I'll do another mock draft called After Mason Draft. After Mason mock draft. I'll probably do another one sometime this week for sure. Maybe I like to put a little space in between mock drafts. I want to do just one back to back. I'll probably do one on Thursday with Terradome. And then maybe do one at some point. I might do someone's. I don't know. I haven't decided, but I'll definitely do one for sure. I promise I'll do one for sure. Is a Larry guy? Is he? Okay. I know that 49ers love him too. So if Larry loves him, 49ers love him. I can only imagine Larry's like, get him. Get that guy in the second. Your kicker better, play better. Oh, dude, that is like the whole kicker thing is like a whole other conversation, bro. The kicker thing is like an hour and 30-minute conversation, man. We will be here all freaking fracking night, dude. I tell you what, James Pierce, but ready, bro. Come on. You can't say he's not ready at all just because he doesn't have a bag. Moves. He has the highest pass rush win percentage in the country. So obviously it's working, and 18 sacks in 2 years. Look, man, it's just not the same in the NFL, brother. It's just not the same. Hey, guess what? Come the season, wherever he gets drafted, maybe even with the 49ers, if you're right, you are right. And I'm not one to shy from being wrong, because there's one thing I preach about these lives, man. Everyone here are all couches, GMs, etc. This is all just having a great conversation. It's just you having a conversation with me, and I'm having a conversation with you. That's the end of the day what this live is, right? And if you're right about James Pierce, I'm like, hey, man, you were right about James Pierce. That guy, he actually was really great year one, man. I was wrong. I'll admit it. I when I'm wrong, man, I'm wrong. You know, not everyone's going to be right 24/7. That would be boring as shit. And also, not everyone's right. So I promise you, if James Pierce actually turns out to be phenomenal and he's as good as you advertise he is, I'll give you props, I promise. But I just don't think he's ready year one. Year two, I could see it. What are your thoughts on Guerendo? Love him. Love Guerendo. I think Guerendo has huge upside. He's good in the pass game. He's good in the run game. He just needs to stay healthy. And Guerrero has a clutch trait. There's a clutch trait with Guerrero. Guerrero's clutch, good in the pass game, good in the run game. He blew me away last year. I was shocked how good he actually was. I thought he was going to take a lot longer to develop. No, last year's phenomenal, but he has to stay healthy. He's constantly getting hurt, and that's a problem. We can't have that. We can't have that. Wait, you think Shamir Stur's a fourth-round guy? I don't know about that, though. Yeah, I thought he was like a third, fourth round. I thought when I first saw him, I was like, this guy's like a late third, early fourth kind of type guy. Yeah, I thought when I first saw him, I was like, that guy, there's no way. There is no freaking fracking way this guy's a first rounder or an early second rounder. I don't think he's a second. I don't think he's a second rounder either. But yeah, I just think he's good. He's good at stopping the run. But even then, he's not a threat to me. Fonda Stewart going top 10, someone gets pushed back. Exactly. As long as it's not the 49ers. As long as it's not the 49ers. I kind of like Shamir, but you're right. I like the athleticism, but he screams Solomon Thomas. Which QB in this draft will their NFL team get and win a playoff? Ooh. That's a good question. Who would I like Jackson Dart and I like Cam Ward. I like Jackson Dart more than Shedeur Sanders. I think Jackson Dart has huge upside. I think Jackson Dart could be a starter in this league. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's actually a tough question. I don't know. I think Cam Ward for the Titans could, because that division's not that great. So if Cam Ward goes to the Titans with the Colts, I can't remember who else is in that division. I guess the Texans are. I can't think of the other team, but probably the Titans with the Colts. The Titans with Cam Ward. Probably Jackson Dart, depending upon where he goes. I would say Cam Ward. I know it's kind of a cheap answer, but the Titans are not in the greatest division. They've done some stuff in free agency. If they can get Cam Ward some weapons in the draft, they still have. Don't they have a couple wide receivers that could be tripping? Because I feel like Shedeur Sanders is either going to go to the Browns or the Giants, and I don't believe in either one of those teams. Even though I like Brian Daboll, like Shedeur Sanders is not moving the needle for me for any of those teams. So it would have to be Cam Ward at that point. And if Jackson Dart gets drafted by, I guess this is kind of cheating, but if Jackson Dart gets drafted by the Raiders, technically Geno Smith would be the starter. No, because that's a tough division. I don't know. I really have to ponder on that, but on top of my head, I got to say Cam Ward with the Titans. Yeah. If he gets drafted by the Niners, he better be right. For sure, dude. For sure. Whoever the 49ers draft and I don't like them, they better be right. Like, they better be right, dude. Kind of like with Pearsall, where it's like, yeah, Pearsall at the time, man, what are you doing? But now it's like, if he's as good as he was towards the end of that season, might be good. Odell looks like athletic and really quick, and he got a tackling runners behind the line. Just watch some quick highlights. Okay. It's good. Okay. All right. I like those words. Dart as a Steeler. They are desperate for a quarterback. Who's the Steelers division? Yeah, the Bengals, Ravens. That's tough, dude. I don't know, man. Bengals are kind of rough. Steelers in that division. Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, Browns. I don't know. That's tough. That's tough. Because Tomlin works magic. So probably actually, you know what? Jackson Dart, actually. You know what? I take that back. Jackson Dart to the Steelers just because Mike Tomlin with literally anyone, literally with Mason Rudolph, can go to the playoffs in the wild card round at least, right? Why can't Jackson Dart? So that's actually maybe with the Steelers. Jackson Dart over the Titans then. I probably that then. But I do think that Jackson Dart has potential. And a lot of people don't agree with me. They don't think he's actually got a starter, like he's got starter potential or whatever, because this QB draft class is not great. It's really not. Like the upside of these players are not phenomenal, but Cam Ward is probably the only one I believe in the most. But there's something about Jackson Dart when I watch him play. I don't know. There's just something about him that I really love. When the way he throws the ball, the way he throws the ball off platform and still gets it in the bucket, it impresses me, man. Sometimes, like if he's throwing a deep ball and like there's pursuit or whatever, and there's like a small bucket window, he will sometimes right in the bucket where the wide receiver doesn't have to go any crazy, doesn't stop, nothing like that. It's like perfect in stride. There's something there with Jackson Dart, man, that I love a lot. I think there's something there with Jackson Dart. So I like him a lot. Gonna be another Eli situation with the Shedeur Sanders. I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't be shocked. Honestly, didn't Deion Sanders say like he's not going somewhere where I don't want him to go or something like that? I could definitely see that. If there's Shedeur Sanders drama or anything like that, I could see that being like, hey, not going to the Browns. But but I've already heard that Shedeur likes the Browns. I've heard Shedeur likes the Browns. I've heard Shedeur likes the Giants. I've heard he likes both those. I heard he likes the Titans. I've heard Shedeur give praise to the Browns. So I don't think there will actually be an Eli situation with Shedeur, just because Shedeur has expressed love for the teams in the top 5 picks. So I don't think it's going to happen. Actually, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at the same time though, just because Deion Sanders has come out and says like he's not going to play for a team I don't want him to play for, because I want him to play for who I think is going to be best for my son. So it's going to be up to Shedeur Sanders, really. Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but I don't think so. Yeah, it looks like Pearsall was a great pick for the future, having a great move. The chains, slot receiver, and getting rid of Fatboy Tebow. We need another wide receiver. Looks like a great pick right now. Yeah, it looks like that was a good choice. That looks like that was a great pick. That was a great choice for the San Francisco 49ers picking up Pearsall, because, man, does he look good. If he could be as good as he was at the end of the season, bro, I'm a big fan of Pearsall, dude. Pearsall. I mean, who doesn't like Mini-Man? Guy who got shot in the chest comes back and looks like he's the second coming of Jerry Rice. Just a joke. I not saying exactly Jerry Rice, but you got my point. He looks phenomenal. Looks phenomenal. He's got to get on point. He's got to get on point with Brock Purdy, though. He's had some issues with Brock Purdy. Like him and Brock Purdy have had some problems with connection issues, but that could easily be solved with their real training camp session, real offseason, real preseason, and real reps. Because technically, Pearsall was playing behind the 8 ball because he didn't start getting practice reps until week 7 of the season, because he wasn't there for training camp. Remember the shoulder issue? So he wasn't there for training camp. He wasn't there really for OTAs or anything like that. He really didn't start getting practice reps until middle of the season, where Brock Purdy had to focus on a lot more than just a connection with the wide receiver. So with Pearsall behind the 8 ball, he performed really well. He really did. I love the potential there. What is he going to actually do to prevent them from drafting him? Just do the Eli thing, being like, I'm not playing here, trade me. You can draft me, but I'm not signing that contract. I mean, technically, Shedeur is rich, so he can afford to not take that contract and be like, hey, trade me somewhere else. He can afford to move on. I don't think Shedeur has that control of his career. I think Deion does, though. I think Deion has a lot to say. It happened with Eli. Chargers want to take Eli, and Archie was not going to let that happen. Yeah, I think Deion would do the same thing. I know that, but I don't remember what they actually did to prevent it. They said we're not playing for you guys. We don't want to play for you. We're not doing it, and so they ended up just trading him. He told him too, like, hey, I'm not doing it. Antonio's never played it down in college football, so never say never about any player. Never say never. And I know it. I was too young, so I don't remember. Damn, he just aged me, bro. I wanted Zach Frazier or Jackson Powers at 31 last year. Needed a center, of course, but we don't need. But we know how freaking Chris Forster is, man. Hey, we got Pooney. We got Pooney. You know what I mean? So, diehard since '88. After all this mess, I hate this organization. Damn, bro. Damn, dude. I think it's fine. Dollar bills. I think everything's fine. I like everything they did. Traded Mason, fine with it. I like it. Got a 5th round pick. I like all the players they cut. The only thing I disagree with, and I'll say this again, is the weird Kyle Juszczyk cut and sign thing. That's the only thing I think is a little weird that I don't agree with. I don't agree with that. I think that's kind of weird. Can we trade Forster to Cleveland? Hey man, we'll give us Myles Garrett for Chris Forster. Oh my God. Why would a team ever want to deal with a diva who refuses to play for the team they drafted? I don't know. They're desperate for a win, man. Desperate for a franchise quarterback. And technically it's worked out. I mean, Eli Manning worked out for the Giants, and he did that, right? I want to see another team's done that. I could have sworn it's happened more times, but it's worked out before. It's worked out before. So, but I totally understand. Like, why would you want to work with somebody who doesn't want to work with you? Why would you force that upon the team? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why you'd want to do that. Like, if you outright say I don't want to play for you as a draftee, why would I draft you? Just because? Like, just so I'd say, I own you. I drafted you. I have the rights to you. You either play with us or play with no one at all. No offense to Shedeur Sanders. He's not that type of guy. He's not that type of guy where it's like people are going to be afraid of Shedeur Sanders going to somewhere else. It's just not that type of guy. Yeah, I love Pooney. Not going to give Chris Forster that one, though, because remember, if it wasn't for John Feliciano's injury, he didn't even want Pooney to start. Is that true? That'd be crazy if it's true. Trade Chris Forster back to the Dolphins. He loves snorting white stuff up in there. And we're pro Chris Forster hater over here, guys. Pro for sure. Pro Chris Forster hater over here. Jeff Pooney only got his start because both Feliciano and Burford got injured. That's true. But Pooney's trying to be a stud, man. Like, it doesn't happen every day that a 3rd round pick just turns out and be like, hey, I'm going to be all pro this year. It doesn't happen all the time. So, I mean, hopefully we can hit the draft again, especially in a draft where we're full of guards, full of potential, full of opportunity, where the 49ers can draft a guard in the 3rd round now, and in the 4th round. Someone like that who can actually start for us. There's a lot of potential here. This draft, I mean, I love this draft. We are 2 likes away from 20. Let's go, baby. 2 likes away from 20, y'all. Dose. We are dose likes away, man. We are 2 likes away from 20. Hold on, I got to turn off my TV. It's acting weird. Come on. What's the point of having a remote? You know what I mean? All right. We're at 18 likes, baby. One more. We're at 19 likes, baby. Just one more to go, man. One more like to go, dude. Oh, my God. All right, Bo Jackson, John Elway refused to play with the team that they drafted. Oh, that's right. John Elway did. I knew there was somebody else. Because of Foster. Chris Forster has 2 brain cells, and both are fighting for the 3rd place. I didn't come with that one. I heard a roast like that on a short. It's a good one. I would have took credit for it. I'm not going to lie to you. Forster would start a Kenny Pickett level player over Tom Brady player because they're a veteran. That's true. I mean, Kyle takes his word, and that's kind of on Kyle's fault, but also Forster, he's probably one of the reasons why we don't draft an offensive lineman. Right? I mean, he's like, I know Kyle's responsible, John Lynch is responsible, because at the end of the day, they get credit for good picks and they get credit for bad picks. I get that, but if you think that Chris Forrester doesn't have a say in like picks, I think that's just not true. I think Chris Forrester does have a say in some of these picks, especially offensive line. He's even expressed it in the press conferences, saying, telling Kyle, you worry about people scoring and getting to the quarterback, and we'll get an offensive lineman later on. I feel like with Forrester being lenient on that, with Forrester being like okay with those kind of things, I think it makes it easier for John, easier for Kyle to move on from the position. So I do blame Forrester for, like, I give Forrester credit for Pooney, for the draft of Pooney, but I also give him blame for us not picking offensive linemen, just as much as I blame John Lynch and Kyle for not picking offensive linemen. So Forrester has PTSD from McGlinchey. Yeah, that pick was brutal, man. That pick was, yeah, dude. That pick was. He's doing great at Denver. Was what everyone's saying he's doing great in Denver, which I don't agree, but apparently he is. Chris Ford said, we view guys who could score touchdowns more than offensive linemen. Dude, what? Trenches are more important, especially when you already have great weapons, Kittle, CMC, Ayuk. That's a good point, dude. It's kind of like, it's like, dude, what are you talking about? You are the offensive line coach. What are you talking about? You should be banging the table for a better offensive line. But you know what? When your job is secure, and you are, I say this all the time about Kyle, is, man, he has a tier of players and coaches. It's called the friend tier, where it mixes with business. Chris Forrester is in that realm where he gets a pass. So I guess if your job's not necessarily on the line and you get some leeway, I guess drafting an offensive lineman in the first round is not something you should bang the table for, or the second round. You could be like, hey, I'm going to try my best. I'm just going to try my best to get an offensive lineman in the third round and the fourth round. It's fifth and sixth round. Undrafted. Like, come on, man. Like, you need to bang the table, bro. Bang the table. Bring it down. McGlinchey, not McGlinchey. That's true. Like, glitches. So, 19 likes. One to go, man. One more like, dude. 15 people in here. Tell me one of you guys haven't hit that like button. Please hit that like button. One more like, dude. All right. For real, you're the damn O-line coach. You should love offensive linemen and be one of the best. Thinking it's the most important thing in the NFL. It's literally your job. Literally their job, man. Like, it's just like, dude. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm glad that we all, like, when I first brought up Forrester, I was actually expecting a lot of people to backlash on me and stuff like that, but I never liked him and never enjoyed his I never liked him, right? But it was only until recently that I found out that a lot of people don't like Chris Forrester. And I'm like, hey, that's something we can celebrate about. I mean, I don't always agree with the fan base on things, man. Like, it happens, right? Like, and sometimes I just go out on a limb and be like, hey, I don't know how the fan base feels about this, but guess what? I'm going to say this. I don't like Chris Forrester. Then everyone's like, yeah, I'm glad you said that, dude. Like, I hate that guy. 20 likes, dude. Let's go, man. 20 likes, baby. We did it. Venti, baby. Venti likes, man. Let's go, dude. Venti likes. All right, man. 21 likes. Even better, dude. Even better. You want us better than 24? 25. Probably the greatest SpongeBob joke of all time. Hey, Patrick, you want to know what's funnier than 24? 25. Oh, my God. SpongeBob's classic. How crazy were the 49ers second through fourth round picks in 2024? Green, solid starter. Pooney looking like an all-pro. Guerendo is looking like a starter. As long as he can stay healthy, he's looking really good. He's a clutch back who could do everything. Mustafa is looking like an absolute stud. A Greenlaw type, but at safety. Absolutely phenomenal. Who Who else do we get? We got someone else. Cowing. We don't know yet about Cowing yet, but we absolutely nailed them picks. Cowing is the only one that hasn't gotten any love yet or any recognition. But Green, Pooney, Mustafa, and Grendo have all shown huge potential. Massive potential. Cowing's the only one that's kind of been, I hate this shit, man. I love Mason, bro. Look, man, it's okay, dude. Mason needed to go somewhere to start, okay? Let's be realistic. He was going to be the third running back on this roster. He was going to be traded anyway. We already knew that, we got a 5th round pick for him in a deep running back class for someone who's significantly cheaper. Be happy for Mason to go somewhere where he's going to be the second running back in this draft and is on his team where we have more chances to play, especially with Aaron Jones, according to the Vikings fan in here. He'll have an opportunity to play. Like, it works both ways. It's great. On Shul, it's great, man. It's a great situation. It's a great situation. Trust, man. Trust. I know he's your guy and you love Mason, man, but we found Mason, okay? We found Matt Breida. We found Elijah Mitchell. We found Mostert. We found Jordan Mason. We'll find another guy. Okay. Mustafa. I agree. Mustafa's a stud, man. Mustafa is better than Hufanga. I think he's going to be, yeah. Too soon to say that but Mustafa in 2023, he wasn't as good as he was in 2022. But in 2023, he's aight. Then he got injured. And then in 2024, he kind of comes back and he wasn't exactly great either. So Mustafa's got high potential, dude. Cowing going to feast. We'll see, man. I hope so, dude. Hopefully he puts it together. Hopefully he makes it happen. I'm a big fan. I love Cowing in the draft. Like prior to the draft, I thought he looked phenomenal. The only problem was he was small, but his catch radius is phenomenal. His speed's great. He's got high potential, but he's got to put it together. And after 1 year, maybe he could do it. You know what else is massive? Low taper fade. Before I was being so sad, dude. Cowling, let's just thank God we still have Trent Taylor. Papa Chase, Trent Taylor's merchant. Oh, he loves Trent Taylor, man. Stick with the Trent. Our running backs get hurt all the time, man. So does Mason, dude. So does Mason. So you got to find out. So you got to get a different guy. You know what I mean? But those were all 3rd round draft picks. So if we stay away from 3rd round draft pick running backs that we all agree were reaches at the time that didn't fit the scheme, we all agreed as fans we're not good. But if we stick to guys that we know as fans in a deep running back class, that could change. Like if we got Scatabo in the 3rd, I'm not complaining. If we got Dylan Sampson, I'm not complaining. If we got Ollie Gordon the 2nd, I'm not complaining. If we got RJ Giddens from Kansas State, I'm not complaining. Like there's a lot of running backs that I actually think will be great with the 49ers compared to Joe Williams, Trey Sermon, and Ty Davis Price, where I was like, why? You know what I mean? But yeah, Mason got hurt all the time, bro. Mason got hurt. He fumbled. Wasn't great in the red zone. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, but Grendo is better, and so is CMC. It's okay, man. It's okay. It's all right. Malik the Lot Mustafa. He's like, it's okay. It's not okay, man. It's not okay. Media Onshul loved Mason, man. I know that, but it's in a deep running back class. If there's a time to move on from him, man, he wasn't going to replace CMC. Now was the time. You think lose Mason's the end of the world? Yep, I do. Oh, that's funny. So it looks like the 49ers might get Cam Scatterbo now that they traded Jordan Mason. Salvador in the house. Look, man, I'm all for it, dude. I'm all for getting Cam Scatterbo. I like Cam Scatterbo. If we get him in the with the 100th pick, 113th pick, I wouldn't hate it. Hopefully, we would draft two D tackles and D ends at that point. After that, go ahead and get a guy like Dylan Sampson, Scatterbo, Ollie Gordon, Giddens, something like that. I'll be all for it. So, Jesus, Jake. It represents Glaze. I really hope so. Obviously, the best player available, especially if you think they are a blue chip. But first round, Nolan, Harmon, Grant, Pierce, Walker, Campbell, Banks. Second round, Maxwell, Harrison, Donovan Jackson, Harold Finn Jr. I like Maxwell Harrison, but I don't think corner should be the second round thing. I'm not into that. Donovan Jackson, I love a lot. Harold Finn Jr. God, he's my favorite tight end in this draft. Harold Finn Jr. is my favorite tight end in this draft. Nolan, I like him, but not as a late first round. Be great. Harmon, love Harmon. Kenneth Grant, more of a late first rounder to me. Pierce, you already know how I feel about that. Let's not go down that road. Jalen Walker, I almost feel the same way about how I feel about Pierce. I don't know about Jalen Walker. He's kind of like he just popped off. Like he's gotten better every single year, Jalen Walker has, but he just popped off this year as a starter, and I don't know. Campbell, big fan. Banks, I do not like Banks, dude. Banks, Stewart are two guys that I think are busts. I think Banks is a bust. Maybe a hot take, but I don't like Banks. No running back in this draft is proven while Mason is. We can say that about anybody. Before Mason, it was whoever running back was on the 49ers. What was it? Before Mason, it was Elijah Mitchell, but we got Mason. Right? Before Mason, it was Mostert. We got rid of Mostert. Every guy's proven until you get rid of him, right? That's how it is. You have to move on. He's the third running back. Mason has proven that he's injury prone. Mason is injury prone. All right. He can't block. He's the third best pass catcher on the team. Out of the three, Mason is the odd man out. Out of the three. Gotta go. You move on, man. You move on from proven commodities all the time. So Mason's too young. Raheem. Well, Mason here 1 year does not make you injury prone. He's definitely showing it. So, didn't he get hurt when he played? I think he played. No, I could be wrong. But the year that he does play, finally gets some reps, he gets hurt. Had an opportunity to reach 1,000 yards, but if you remember, he injured his shoulder and he couldn't play the rest of the games. That's why we played Patrick Taylor. That's why we had Patrick Taylor and Isaac Abonaconda playing, not Jordan Mason. You want to move off. You want to move off those guys while you can. This is the best opportunity to move off of Mason. Was this year. It was the best time. 1 year, I am not buying it. Not buying it. That's fine, man. That's fine. But I mean, if you're looking at depth wise, you got to move on from him. Like, if you want to say about the injury proneness, it's everything else I said before. Isaac is better, and CMC is better in the passing game. Isaac's a better blocker than Mason is. What else? Garendo is faster and is more clutch than Mason. Mason is the third running back outside looking in. You had to move on from him, especially in a deep running back class. Like that, this is the time to do it. And we've done our fair share of moving off of proven commodities and got new guys. So that's what we do. Should have moved off Patrick. That's what I'm saying. Patrick Taylor Jr. is not even going to make this roster. But if you're talking about a guy who you can trust, if you're talking about a team that's moved off a proven commodity that found another proven commodity that turns out to be a proven commodity, it's the 49ers. Now you're comparing Patrick Taylor. If you want to compare Patrick Taylor, then he's definitely not making this roster. But Patrick Taylor is not replacing Jordan Mason. That's the thing. He's not replacing Jordan Mason. Who's your pro comp to Derek Harmon? You think bro, a couple names? Not really, no. Nothing that comes up in my mind. Comp. Man. I feel like DeForest Buckner is a bit of a cheat because he went to Oregon. Maybe Eric Armstead kind of type guy. Inside. Maybe Eric Armstead. I'm trying to think. Someone who's kind of lanky, but it's got that ability. Not Vita Vea. Maybe like Dexter Lawrence-ish. Maybe like Dexter Lawrence, I think. Maybe Dexter Lawrence, probably. Yeah, because Mason was never given the chance, Jake. That I disagree with that. Actually, if you think about it, when CMC went out, if Mason was healthy, he would have had the chance. He got hurt. He had a chance to show what he can do, and he did good stuff. But in his chance, what he showed you was that he wasn't the best out of the three backs in the passing game, wasn't a good blocker, and was injury prone and fumbled. So if you're going to move off a guy, that's how you move off a guy. Just same thing. You talk about the injuries. I could talk about that. He was prominent in one season. We just didn't give Mason the fair chance that he will get with the Vikings. Yeah, and Vikings, he'll have a lot more chances, a lot more opportunities. So he wasn't given the chance till this year, but you got to move off from him, man. You got to move off from him in a deep running back class. I know you love Mason, man. I know that. But he's not the number one running back. He wouldn't have been the number two. It was going to be Isaac Guerendo. You want Mason to be stuck as a third running back? You want Mason to be stuck as a third running back? Do you think a third running back is that important? Guerendo does not struggle. That is wild. Compared to Mason, that's actually wild, dude. That's wild. Guerendo has a clutch trait, a lot more speed, a lot more catchability, a lot more one-cut jolt. That's crazy. He is not slow to the hole, dude. That's wild. That's actually wild. True Line says true nose tackle type, though. You think Orman could do that? He's only 310 pounds. Yeah, you can do it. I think you can do it. But I'm trying to think of like comps on the top of my head. That's kind of how I see it. So, True Wolf, that won't be fair to Mason to keep him. Answer will stop. Yes, he is. No, he's not. He's fast as shit. Gets to that hole in time. The problem with Guerendo is that he picks the same hole. Like most of the time, you know what hole he's going to hit. But I think that Guerendo has way up higher upside than Mason does. Guerendo can do more than Mason does. And you're going to have a guy play third running back who you think is a starter. Wouldn't it be fair to him? Like, if you love Guerendo so much, 49ers Media, you love him so much, Anshul, do you think it's fair to keep a guy who's you think is a starter and deserves a real chance, wouldn't get a real chance on this team regardless if we kept him? Like, it's the third. We're talking about the third running back. He's going to be the third running back on this roster. It is best to trade him for another pick so that way you can have – it's best to get another pick so that way you can move off of him and get something new to replace that you can get in the 5th, 6th, 7th round undrafted, which you have seen in the past. So we've moved off of Jeff Wilson Jr. We've moved off of Mostert. We've moved off of Breida. A lot of people complain, and guess what? We got a running back to fill that hole. Third running back. So, I know you're not changing your mind. I understand that. You pleaded your case. I pleaded mine. But I'm perfectly happy with moving off Mason. Perfectly happy with it. 25-year-old running back, injury problems. He's the least of the three running backs. He's got to go. Wait, you think Mason would have been behind Guerendo if he was still a team next year? Remember, Mason led the league in rushing in the early 6 weeks. I think Guerendo will get that. Will be that, if not utilized more than Mason would be if he was to be the starter. Guerendo would definitely be the second running back compared to Mason, for sure. Guerendo does a lot more than what Mason does. Confident. I understand what he does in 6 weeks, but Mason doesn't do as much as Guerendo does. What are your thoughts on James Pierce, James Hurd Jr., bro? Are we fine? Hey, we're just disagreeing. It's okay. Hey, we could disagree here. All right, that's the thing. Like, we're just disagreeing. We're not calling each other names. We're just disagreeing. We're all good. You're allowed to disagree here, and Onshul here disagrees with me with the Mason thing, and he's allowed to feel that way. He's allowed to feel that way about Mount Mason. Jeff won't be at 49ers because of the character concerns. Same with Mike Green. Yeah. Yeah. I actually don't. I've heard there's some character issues with James Pierce and Mike Green. I've heard that, but man, do I like Mike Green. Mike Green's so good. I like Mike Green a lot. That's it. I'm putting Wolfie and 49ers man in timeout. 5-minute timeout. That's actually not true. He was a team captain. He's not off the field issues, illegal or anything. But 49ers media, I'm letting you know. I'm letting you know right now. You and Jeff are gonna go at it for like days, bro. All right. Yeah, you guys are gonna go at it for days. I'm just wanting you to know that. All right. Jeff's got some good cases, man. He's got some good arguments, though. I want to throw it out there, so be careful. Be careful. Hey guys, stop fighting. Hey, relax, y'all. Relax, both you guys. Let's just relax here. We're having a disagreement. It's okay. We're good. We're having a disagreement. That's all. I promise. I mean, let's it's all right, man. It's all right. It's all right. As long as we're good, you're good. 49ers are good. I promise. We're all good. So, anyway, so Mason, I'm happy with it. Onshul's not happy with it, obviously. You know, hopefully we can replace him, though. Hopefully in a deep running back draft. Hopefully we can get a guy who's good, fast, quick, healthy, can do everything the 49ers are asking him to do, be that fourth running back, and be cheaper as well. You know, I am a big fan of this draft, big fan of the situation. I really do. At the end of the day, I will say this. I do hope we do find a good replacement for Mason. Am I expecting to be as good as Mason right away? Probably not. You know, Mason had a really high ceiling there, but I do expect the running back to come in to perform and at least be good. As a third running back, that's what I expect. That's what I really want from that. So I think the running back situation is fine. I think we're still good at running back. Someone we can draft. Hopefully we can use the 5th round pick that we got, the 5th round pick we get from Deebo Samuel, trade up, get someone. It's more ammunition there to trade up for better players. So we'll see how it goes. James, that's what their show should be called, Wolf 49ers Media on Itch. Actually, believe it or not, me and Onshul, when we're live, man, we just laugh and giggle at each other, and I usually go, what? And he goes, yeah, man, you're crazy, dude. And usually we just smile and have a good time. We usually don't. I don't think I've ever been upset with Onshul. I don't think Onshul's actually been upset with me before. I think one time, I think Onshul wanted to kill me one time. I don't remember what it was about, but there's one time he was super upset about something. I don't remember what it was, but at the end of the day, man, we're just good and having a great time, man. Definitely did not need to say that. Doesn't mean that they will draft him, and sometimes teams will try to throw teams off. They will have meet with them like they met with like Mike Green. That's true. We'll see. I know they like Mike Green a lot. I've heard that in the Senior Bowl. They're a big fan. Ain't no way. I forgot what it was who cursed at me. Like he called me the F word or something. Like he's like you need to stop getting fucking emotional. I was like, all right, dude. Damn, bro. Or it was, but at the end of the day, man, it's all good though. Yeah. No, this shit ain't rocket science. Teams aren't doing all that extra stuff. They're not going to randomly meet with somebody with limited people. Like, I'm telling you, media. I'm telling you right now. Jeff loves James Pierce. Jeff loves James Pierce, man. He's we'll see though, man. I already told him, man, if he turns out to be great, I'm gonna get if James Pierce turns out to be phenomenal. I already told Jeff that I'll give him his flowers year one. I ended it with like, hey man, I'll give you your flowers. He made some good points. He made some good arguments. You know, obviously none of our opinions changed here, but he made some good points, especially for those who are watching, who if they did or did not, if they were like in the middle about James Pierce, they now have one good argument on both sides, I feel. So that's really at the end of the day that it is. But yeah, man, Jeff is James Pierce's guy. James Pierce is Jeff's guy for sure. Yeah, dude, that's pretty funny. But all right, guys, this show has been going on for 2 hours and 14 minutes. We've reached the 20 like mark, which is absolutely phenomenal. That's amazing. It's because of you guys. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate it. 49ers Media, I appreciate you coming in here and showing your love. Sorry about Mason being traded, man. I know that's a bummer, but hopefully the 49ers can prove you wrong by finding a solid replacement. But that's not for a while, and we're not going to know anything for a while. So I'm sorry, man. But on the bright side, we got rid of some other trash players in the end, and yeah. So good to see you, 49ers Media. Take care. Jeff, appreciate you coming here. Great debate about James Pierce, man. Awesome. Juan, appreciate you as always, your opinions, man. I love that we can agree to disagree as always. Papa J, the best motto broken, ask for Val in the house. Let's go, dude. Let's go. 49ers Media is going to be gone tomorrow. Brendel. It's going to be Brendel. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Jeff, appreciate you. Juan, appreciate you. Strawberry, as always, man. Thank you so much for supporting. Hit that like button, as always. Jake, thank you so much for coming in here, man. Making sure all the facts are correct. I appreciate you, as always. And props to you for apologizing and keeping the peace, man. That's very big of you. So I appreciate that. Who else was up in here? Salvador, thank you so much for coming up in here and make sure you're supporting the channel, as always, man. I appreciate you, dude. Always recognize OG. Val, Strawberry, dollar bills, even though we don't agree, I still thank you for supporting the channel. Great one. Hey, usually you come in hot, man. Pause. But usually you're coming in here. All right, I'm getting tired, guys. I got to move on. All right. Appreciate you coming up in here, showing some love regardless, man. I appreciate the debate regardless. I think it was a great conversation. Vikings, congratulations on getting your second running back, Mason. Take care of him. Hopefully you use him. And, yeah, you guys got a good one, man. You guys got a good one. Who else? Matt, Dave Lombardi's guy, Matt Aturza. I can't say his last name, but Mike, thank you so much for joining up in here, showing some love. As always, man, you are a legend amongst more 49ers fans as David Lombardi's mod. I recognize that facial. I recognize that profile pic. Who else? There's one more person I'm missing. Eric Shun. Eggface Eric Shun. Appreciate you. Raptor. Raptor, good to see you, man. Yeah, I just did that, guys. I just did that. 49ers Brian, appreciate you as well, supporting the channel. Hey, I think that's everyone. If I missed anybody, I deeply apologize. You guys help make this channel go. You help make this channel what it is. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for being here. And if you guys, Nikita, thank you so much for being part of this. Michael, you as well. Thank you so much for being here. You guys help make this go. You guys make this what it is. Love you guys. This has been this channel is the greatest experience ever. And I couldn't ask for a better wolf pack. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad that we can agree and disagree and just have a great conversation, man. I appreciate you. To everybody who watch this later, if you want to be part of the family, part of the wolf pack, part of the show, hit that sub button. We always welcome you because at the end of the day, this is just one big conversation and you get to be a part of it. And of course, every single like, if you haven't hit that like button already, hit that like button because every single like makes my 49ers heart grow from here to here. All love, fam. I'll see you next video. Bang, bang, not a gang, baby. Bang, bang, not a gang.